coming out for a matchup of the 2-0 Cleveland Browns and the 2-0 Los Angeles Raiders. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Paul McGuire. And, Paul, this is a Raider team that has responded so well to their new quarterback, Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah, yesterday we had an opportunity to talk to Howie Long and said to Howie, what is the difference between this defense of this year and last year? He said, Jeff Hostetler. I said, what are you talking about? He said, they keep the ball and keep us off the field.
And Hostetler has completed 68% of his passes, and he's going up against a defense sparked by crush and rush. There they are, Michael Dean Perry and Jerry Ball.
Well, when you talk about differences in a team, big difference in the Cleveland Brown defense is that big 93, Jerry Ball. He has been outstanding, and I think he's made Michael Dean Perry a better player, if that's possible.
Raiders have won the toss, and they will receive. LA Raiders did not have an impressive preseason, 2 up and 3 down, but the silver and black opened with wins over Minnesota and Seattle last Sunday night, winning at the Kingdome. The Cleveland Browns, with Matt Stover getting set to kick off, gunning for its first 3-0 start since back in 1979. The Browns defeating Cincinnati in an impressive 23-13 win over the 49ers this past Monday night in Cleveland. Matt Stover has put 8 of his 12 kickoffs in the end zone, 6 for touchdowns. So he has certainly had the touch. Alexander Wright and Greg Robinson are back deep. Wright with tremendous speed. And once again, Stover sends it deep into the end zone, handled by the rookie from Northeast Louisiana, Greg Robinson. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And here is Jeff Hostetler. He came to the Raiders as a free agent in the offseason after 8 years with the Giants. The Raiders' offensive line, Ken Lanier for the injured Bruce Wilkerson. Wilkerson sitting out with a knee problem. Steve Smith and Greg Robinson are the running backs. The receivers, Alexander Wright, Tim Brown, Ethan Horton. When they go 3 wideouts, Tyrone Montgomery and Willie Gault check in. So we're just underway at the Coliseum. Hostetler puts it in the air and is able to complete to the tight end, Ethan Horton. Covered by the free safety, Eric Turner, and that is good for 15 yards.
When we look at this defense, you see Michael Dean Perry's name in there, 92. Well, first of all, Jerry Ball started. And they have a deal between these two guys, between Michael Dean Perry and Jerry Ball, to see who starts along with James Jones. And they decide, not the coach.
And you see the secondary, veteran Everson Walls, along with Najee Mustafa, playing with an injured shoulder. Mustafa, formerly Richie Rutland of the Minnesota Vikings. So Michael Dean Perry on the sideline. They call it a 3-man rotation. Here's Robinson to the outside and gets to the 45 for a first down. Stephon Moore made the tackle, but it is a 12-yard advance.
Yeah, it's a 12-yard advance, but watch what happens here. They're running to their left, and the linebackers get caught inside. And once you get caught inside, that's Clay Matthews there. You get caught inside, that opens up on the outside. They pick up a first down.
Ball back to the alignment defensively for Cleveland. Pepper Johnson, the one-time Giant, starting at outside linebacker. David Brandon, the usual starter, pulled a hamstring, and he was inactive for today's game. Hostetler off the play fake. So people covered, then completed to the fullback, Steve Smith. And this Raider offense looking very sharp at the start. That's a 21-yard pickup. Mustafa made the stop on Smith.
Well, it all happens here with the protection. First of all, Hostetler has all day to throw the ball. Now, you see Smith, he just slides out. There's no linebacker to pick him up. Absolutely no white jerseys out there. Smith is downfield, picks up the first down. They're inside the 35 to the 30, almost to the 33-yard line.
Steve Smith in his 7th season out of Penn State, one of the best blocking backs in the NFL. It is a first down at the 32. And very quick to the ball carrier, Greg Robinson, was Michael Dean Perry. Now let's check in with Jim Lampley back at our New York studios. Jim?
All right, Marv, let's take a look at the climax or anticlimax. Take your pick in New England. Patriots trying to come back from 17 down. Watch the lower right-hand corner of the screen as Scott Sisson's 54-yard field goal attempt to tie it at the end hits the crossbar. Seattle wins 17-14. Marvelous.
All right, Jim. Well, Bill Parcells, New England Patriots now 0-3. Another tough loss for the Patriots. Second down and 15 back at the 37-yard line, and penalty flags are down. The referee today is Bernie Kukar. The LA Raiders have been heavily penalized over the first
ball start. Number 76 on the offense. 5-yard penalty prior to the snap.
That's the play before when you're going to see Michael Dean Perry, number 92. Ball's in a cock position, 93. But watch Perry. Past Montoya into the backfield. That is a 4-yard loss. And, you know, you and I talked about this before. Marvin. One of the things is this, that the team that can run the ball most effectively today is going to be the team that's going to win this game, not throwing the ball.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching Seattle and New England. As Jim Lampley told you a moment ago, Seattle defeating New England 17-14. Hostetler had his arm. It looked like someone got a piece of it. That pass intended for Greg Robinson.
I think Anthony Pleasant, who is the right defensive end, number 98, may be the guy that comes in. Watch Pleasant, 98. He gets around to the outside, and he just pushes Hostetler as he throws. Right there. That threw the ball off.
And it sets it back to a third down, 3rd and 20. Jeff Hostetler, in his 9th year out of West Virginia, got caught up in the quarterback controversy with the Giants. Phil Simms getting the nod, and Hostetler decided to make the move and signed with the Los Angeles Raiders. Another flag has been thrown. This is Tyrone Montgomery. That's a 10-yard pickup. Eric Turner up from free safety to make the stop.
Defense offside, and you got to believe that they've got to refuse this penalty because it'll be 4th down and about 10, and the field goal would be about 50 yards. Now the question is, you take the penalty, the 5-yard penalty, even though you picked up 12 yards on the play.
Offside on the defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You have to take the penalty because you got 4th and 12 and kicking a 50-yard field goal. Here's Perry jumping offside. Didn't you talk to him about being offside yesterday?
Says doesn't happen anymore. Is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said. He said, I don't jump off sides anymore.
Well, Michael Dean, known for his quickness, known as a player who likes to get the edge, and they do watch him closely. It's a 3rd down and 15.
They're offside again.
And again, the flag's down. Hostetler on the move, flush out of the pocket and brought down out of midfield.
Way offside.
Mike Johnson, the middle linebacker, heading to the quarterback, Jeff Hostetler.
They're offside. Now they picked up, which great taking that last penalty, so they picked up the 10 yards and on the pass play. It's still 3rd down and about 9 or 10 yards. Johnson, the blitz was on. Clay Matthews, number 57, in this 3rd down and long defense, he's lining up as a down lineman on the end of the line on the right-hand side, or he has been the last 2 plays.
Offside on the defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
He said he would never do it once again. He's done it twice in a row. Here he is again. Michael Dean, I don't know what's bringing him up. Well, I'll tell you what brings him off is Rob Burnett, number 90, to his left moved. And when he saw him move, he went along with him. Jeff Hostetler is down.
Well, Hostetler shaken up when he was brought down by Mike Johnson, and they are checking him out. Here's another look at it.
Mike Johnson actually brings it down. Mike Johnson's blocked here, but watch Clay Matthews is the guy that's going to come in at the end, number 57. Johnson's got him here, and here's Clay Matthews with that shoulder right in his back.
Vince Evans, the backup quarterback, is warming up. Will be 38-year-old Vince Evans has come on for Jeff Hostetler, who was shaken up just a moment ago. Evans making his first appearance of the season and will throw on this 3rd down and 10 and completes to Alexander Wright.
Alexander Wright comes down out of bounds. They are throwing the ball, but they're keeping it. They call it good. Here's Vince Vince Evans throwing to Alexander Wright between the two defenders. Now watch where he comes down. Right there, and he's out of bounds, and they call it being knocked out of bounds. The official was right on target. You see Alexander turn around looking at the official because he knew he was out of bounds.
A 25-yard pickup, but Jeff Hostetler has checked back in. Pretty good work out of the bullpen for Vince Evans. The ball at the 6, the handoff to Robinson, and a penalty flag is down.
Cleveland offside again. Sorry, Marv.
That's the call against the Browns.
Marv, Hostetler gets knocked out just for one play. Vince Evans comes in, throws to Alexander Wright, and they're down inside the 10. But watch, here's Hostetler. Here's what you call unloading. Clay Matthews, 57. Look at his right arm. He unloads into the back of Jeff Hostetler, and that's what put him out for only one play.
90, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the 7th play of the drive coming up. The ball placed just outside the 3. It's a first and goal. No score. We're early. First quarter. A long drive engineered by Jeff Hostetler last week in Seattle. Excellent game for Jeff. 18 of 33, scored a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, and the give is to Robinson. Robinson not able to make the turn. The emergence of Greg Robinson and Tyrone Montgomery led to the release of Gaston Green, and Robinson getting the start once again because Nick Bell not active because of a hamstring pull.
Stevan Moore, number 27, is going to make the tackle, and they had a few words, which they always do. They don't do anything. They just talk. Here comes Robinson in. Stevan Moore, 27, and they're helping out on the play. Frank Stamms, number 50, making a play. And this is the one thing that Howie Long talked to us about when he said about Jeff Hostetler, why he likes him so much, is the fact that they keep the ball. Now, they've had the ball getting close to 6 minutes.
Yes, Howie's saying that it does keep the defense off the field, so they have been well rested to this point this season. Beautiful 80-degree day in Southern California. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. The LA Raiders looking to cap off this long drive engineered by Jeff Hostetler. 2nd and goal from the 2. Hostetler throwing. Touchdown! Andrew Glover, the backup tight end who goes 6'6", 245 pounds, catching it behind Stevan Moore and Eric Turner.
Play action pass. Glover, the tight end in the end zone. He catches the ball, but he's going to take a shot right there by number 29, Eric Turner. But that's touchdown. Play action pass. Remember, they did not run the ball in. I'm telling you, you're going to have to run the ball against Cleveland to beat them.
8 plays, 80 yards in 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Jeff Hostetler taking the Raiders the length of the field, then was shaken up. Vince Evans off the bench to complete a 25-yard pass play, a key play, and Hostetler finishes it off. The one-time Cleveland Brown, Jeff Jager, adds the extra point. It's the Raiders 7, the Browns nothing. While we were away, this is the scene as they continue to work on Jeff Hostetler, who took a pretty good pop during that first series, tackled by Mike Johnson, but able to make his return and threw that touchdown pass a moment ago to the tight end Andrew Glover. And now Jeff Jager will kick off. The deep man is Eric Metcalf as you look at the Los Angeles Raider drive, 8 plays, 80 yards. And Cleveland will touch the ball for the first time. Metcalf from the goal line to the 10. And submarine as he crossed the 15, the big hit applied by Ricky Dixon. And here's Bernie Kosar. A penalty flag has been thrown as the Browns offense hits the field. So the flags have been flying here in the early moments.
It's going to be, I would think, after something like this, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Raiders, and the Browns are pointing to it. This is an excellent tackle by Ricky Dixon.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 29 on the defense, taunting. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it's the rookie, Patrick Bates, the rookie, #1 draft pick from Texas A&M, who was called for taunting.
Yeah, you know, keep your mouth shut. They remember Metcalf from last year, Marv. 4 TDs here. That young man, that young man wasn't here then.
These two clubs met back in week 3 last season at the Coliseum, and both teams at the time were 0-2. Leroy Ford took a pretty good pop back behind the line. Winston Moss came up from his outside linebacker position. The Browns with a front line of Jones, Hoover, Everett, Gall, Gene Williams starting instead of Ed King at right tackle. Kosar, the quarterback, Metcalf, Mardell are the running backs. Michael Jackson, Mark Carrier, and Brian Kinchin are the receivers when they go to the jumbo in the short yardage goal line situation. James Jones, a defensive lineman, is often used. In fact, scored a touchdown on Monday night against the 49ers. Second down play. Kosar almost intercepted by Winston Moss. Oh, he's upset with himself. Last week, Winston Moss had a big game leading the Raiders with 9 tackles and should have picked that one off. It's Long, McLaughlin, Harrison, Townsend up front. Wallace, Kelly, and Moss are the linebackers. In the secondary for the Raiders, 2 of the finest corners in the league, and Terry McDaniel and the 32-year-old Lionel Washington, Derek Hoskins, and Eddie Anderson are the deep men.
When you say 2 of the finest corners, that's what Bernie Kosar told us yesterday, Mark. He thinks they're outstanding.
Third down and 10, 8.5 remaining, first quarter. And Kosar goes short range. Metcalf spun around, able to break a tackle, but not able to pick up additional yardage. Well, they're all over Eric Metcalf here at the start. Townsend and Moss combining to stop him. And it's a quick series for the Browns.
Well, first of all, when Metcalf catches this ball, it's about an 8-yard gain. Now they spin him around. There's no place for him to go. Hoskins is the man there. He spins him around, and then he gets help from his friends, Townsend included. And he loses about 4 yards on that play. Now they have to punt.
Brian Hansen, who leads the AFC, averaging just under 49 yards per punt. Jim Brown is back at his 20. Brown backpedals, starts from the 15, breaks a tackle, and crosses the 25. It's a 52-yard punt and a 9-yard return. 7:40 to go in the first. 10.5 hours of coverage next weekend. That starts next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Paul, I'd appreciate if you would lower that music.
Don't you love that? I stood up when I heard it.
7-0. Raiders on top. And the Raiders start out from their 26-yard line. Hostetler with the time. And throws over the middle again. A completion. Steve Smith. Stopped by Clay Matthews, and it's a 9-yard pickup.
Well, the Cleveland Browns, when they went to the bench and they only had the ball for 3 plays and then punted, but they're talking to the offensive linemen saying, see these guys, this is where they're lining up, and this is what we have to do, and here's where you have to block, and this is what we have to move the ball. It makes a lot of sense to me. Not a whole lot to you, does it? Nice pictures, though.
I follow it.
I liked it. Great Polaroids.
Hostetler 4 for 5. 47 yards, including a touchdown. 2nd and 1, and Robinson has the first down and more. Greg Robinson running well, went for 14, and we'll go back to Jim Lafleur.
Marv and Paul take a look at the early season's most dramatic moment. Eagles trying for their 11th straight win at home. Closing seconds. Clock ticking down. Cunningham on the back line to Calvin Williams. 3rd TD catch of the day for Williams. And Philadelphia, trailing all day, pulls it out on the Skins, 34-31. Back to Marv and Paul.
Thank you, Jim. 6:20 remaining in this first quarter. The Raiders 7 and the Browns nothing. And the Raiders first down at the 49. Again, the good protection for Hostetler. couldn't find anyone. Shovel pass is completed. And that was a dangerous pass picked off by Greg Robinson in front of Mike Johnson, who spun him to the ground.
Well, Mike Johnson was aware of where he was the entire time. Heads-up play by two players. First of all, Hostetler. He's going, and the pass protection is excellent here. He moves up in, he starts to run. Now he's going to see Robinson. Watch him throw Mike Johnson right there on the play, and he stops for about a 6-yard gain. Now, we said that Hostetler, his knee is the thing that's bothering him when he got hit. Now, watch when he runs here. He's going to flip the ball. Now, is he limping? He's skipping a little bit. That leg is not well.
Well, 2nd down and 4. Big hole for Greg Robinson. Has the first down, but a flag is thrown. Jerry Ball made the stop. Jeff Hostetler has been having the knee iced while the Raiders have been on defense. And the call against the Browns.
Jerry Ball this time. At least, you know, what we're
offside on the defense, number 93. Penalty is declined. First down.
So that's 1 on Ball, 2 on Perry, and 1 on Burnett. 93, Jerry Ball. He looks like he's already lined up outside. Now he is. He's in that zone. He doesn't touch anybody, so the play continues.
At one time, many people in the league considered him the NFL's premier nose tackle. With Detroit last year, Jerry Ball's weight ballooned to about 345 pounds, which was not well received. A member of the Cleveland Browns. Robinson again, he's been running well. 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Raiders with a 7-0 lead on a touchdown pass from Hostetler to the backup tight end, Andrew Glover. 6 carries, 33 yards for Greg Robinson. You know, by starting the opening game for the Raiders against Minnesota, Greg Robinson was the first Raiders rookie running back to open the season since Marcus Allen back in 1984. As we mentioned, Nick Paul bothered by a hamstring injury and out of action again today. A 2nd and 6. Look out, Hostetler is taken down from behind by Mike Johnson. 2-time Pro Bowl player in his 8th season out of Virginia Tech, Cleveland's leading tackler a year ago, and he is the leader of this Browns defensive unit.
Well, a couple more of these, and Hostetler are going to end up back on that bench again. Here comes Johnson, and nobody blocks him. You see Robinson, 28, is trying to get over in front. He read the blitz too late and almost lost his quarterback. When you're the back there picking up blitzes, what you must do is look to your right first. That's where he was, Robinson was, and then really quick you got to come back to the left to pick up the linebacker.
3rd down and 14. 7th play of the drive. Hostetler with the time. Again, the receiver's well covered, and he throws this one away. Tim Brown was in the area.
All right, you just can't talk enough about both of these, and Hostetler is limping on this leg after that last hit he took. No wonder. But the defensive secondary of both these teams have been superb. Cleveland's only had the ball 3 plays. But when you see Hostetler, when he has to run around like that, Marv, there's just nobody to throw the ball to.
Once again, the receivers were well covered, and he just fired it to the sideline, and Jeff Gossett will come on. He will punt from his 45. Eric Metcalf is back deep. He's averaging about 10 yards per return. Gossett looks to angle it, does not want Metcalf to get his hands on the ball. So a directional punt by Gossett. A 24-yard punt by Gossett. Well, these aerial shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California, just outside the Los Angeles area. Today's pilot, Charles Russell from Downey, California. Look at the newly renovated Memorial Coliseum, a more intimate Coliseum. This is the first year of the new configuration. Capacity now in the area of 67,000 as opposed to 92,000 in the past. They could sell out the Kansas City game in 2 weeks. Good. Which means the game will actually be seen on television in the Los Angeles area. Kosar with the swing pass to Tommy Vardell, and and he is hit for a loss, stopped in his tracks by the combination of Aaron Wallace and Lionel Washington.
Oh, Aaron Wallace, what a nice play by the linebacker. He's just sitting out there. His man is Vardell, 44, coming out. He's in pass defense, first of all, 51. He'll come into your picture. Now watch. He lets go here, comes up, gets himself leveled off, and makes the hit on Tommy Vardell. He did get help from Washington, but Wallace made the play.
Last year, Wallace cracked the Raiders' starting lineup. Second-round steal in 1990. Second down play. The designated pass rusher, number 94, Anthony Smith, has checked in. They go back to the ground, though. Vardell running well. Brings close to the marker. Stopped by the strong safety, Derek Hoskins. Touchdown, Tommy Vardell, as he was known at Stanford, and finally scored his first NFL touchdown in the opening game against Cincinnati. There were no touchdowns for Touchdown Tommy last year as a rookie.
Touchdown Tommy went dry last year. He said, I got so tired of hearing Touchdown Tommy Vardell, and he didn't score a touchdown. And it was right. There it is. There's one touchdown. That's this year, not last year.
He had those fantasy league players very upset last season. We're coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Here's a first down as Kosar sidearms, and it is picked off. Chester McLaughlin using his 315 pounds to put on some nifty moves. The sidearm pass from Kosar intercepted.
Chester McLaughlin, number 91, and Bernie Kosar. You know, they put a rule in this year to throw the ball away, which you're allowed to do. Instead of throwing the ball away, Bernie throws his ball into a crowd, and he actually makes the tackle at the end of it, too. But here it comes. McLaughlin is 91. Look, he's coming across. He's trying to force the ball into Vardell. Well, you don't throw it in the middle anyway. McLaughlin is there. Bernie, nice tackle. But the ball is at the 7-yard line. First down, Raiders.
For the Browns, their first turnover of the season. Kosar's first interception in 65 passes. The Raiders looking for more points with a 7-0 lead. They are first and goal from the 7. Double tight ends Horton and Glover. It's Robinson on the slant. Able to be set back by Stevan Moore.
Stevan Moore made a super play that time. I mean, that was a half-a-yard gain. He came out from the secondary red run and went to first turnover for the Cleveland Browns, as you said. Bernie Kosar, I mean, just don't throw that ball in the middle. He knows better. Don't throw it in the middle of the field. Throw it away.
Bernie has that awkward style, which has certainly worked for him through his college days and in the pros. And he usually makes the sidearm delivery work, but that time you could see McLaughlin saw it coming and picked it up. Here's Hostetler throwing. He took a hit, and the pass was tipped. Intended for Tim Brown.
Oh, Eric Turner is upset because the ball goes right through his hand. Hostetler, that is the third shot he's taken, and he's hurt. He's a tough player, but he's going to get another shot. Look at here. He gets hit there. The ball goes through. Rob Burnett is the man that hits him. And Eric Turner, 29, the ball will go right through his hands. Here's the shot he takes. And look at that leg is underneath. He's supposed to take about 4 of those shots a year. He's had 3 of them so far in this game in the first quarter.
I believe in the state of California, 3 knockdown rule in effect. And a timeout has been called. Incidentally, that interception to set things up for the Raiders. The intercept by Chester McLaughlin was his first in the NFL. This is his second year out of Clemson. Bernie Kosar picked off just a moment ago, and a timeout is called. So the Raiders using their second timeout in this first quarter with 1:16 remaining. Well, next Sunday, a look at the NBC lineup. Miami and Buffalo, Cleveland and Indianapolis in the early game. Seattle, Cincinnati, and the late game. Rick Myra, a coming star, and Miami and Buffalo featuring a matchup of Dan Marino and Jim Kelly. And Paul, you'll be on hand working with Dick Enberg next week.
Yeah, you'll be missed, Marv. Not much, but you'll be missed.
Yes.
Where are you going to be?
Going for the cheap line.
Where are you? Your studio.
Well, Jim Lampley will be handling the Ryder Cup action. I did volunteer for that duty, but it was thought best let Jim go, and I'll be handling the studio duties. Raiders lead the AFC in time of possession, and they have followed right through here in the first quarter. Hostetler with the swing. Incomplete, intended for Ethan Horton, the tight end, who was lined up as a wingback. And the Raiders will have to settle for a field goal.
I'll tell you, Ethan Horton was very smart there. There is life after football. That ball was thrown up. He just said, no, thank you. I'm not. I can see two guys coming to kill me, and there's just really no reason for me to jump up in the air and try to catch that ball.
The end result, a 24-yard attempt for Jager last week. Hit one from 36. Jeff Jager, Cleveland's third-round draft pick back in 1989. Jeff Gossett, another one-time Brown, puts it down, and the kick is right through. A minute 7 remaining in this first quarter, and a good start by the Los Angeles Raiders. They lead the Cleveland Browns 3-0. The Raiders have not gotten off to a rather 10-0. The Raiders have not gotten off to a 3-0 start since back in 1990, when they opened at 4-0 and made their way to the AFC Championship game. Art Shell in his 5th season as head coach, Hall of Famer, one of the NFL's premier offensive linemen, played 15 seasons for the Raiders, made the Pro Bowl 8 times. His Raider play taking place in Oakland, and he says with the new configuration, with the renovation of the stadium, he said the fans are more in it. He says it's closer to what the scene was back in Oakland.
Well, if you take a look down to the right of this stadium, there's some seats down on the right-hand side. You see them right there, the Pirates Den. You know, they have the dog pound in Cleveland.
I get it, Paul.
They want to make this their big end right here, and it does. It brings the people closer to the field. The track is gone. I remember when I ran track here.
Yes. I know you kind of miss it because you like to limber up before the game on the track.
Yeah.
Here at the Coliseum.
I played here one year with the Los Angeles Chargers. There's Al Davis, and that guy to his right, looking this way right now, Jim Otto. What a great center he was. Double O-O-O-O-O-O-O.
Hall of Famer, played for the Raiders from 1960 through 1974. Double O. Eric Metcalf has been handled to this point. Returns to the 17-yard line. Dan Land made the stop. So the Cleveland Browns offense back out of the field. Bernie Kosar, 2 of 3, only 4 yards, and intercepted. Comes off the outstanding game against the 49ers on Monday night. He picked apart the 49ers defense. Last season, his best in years, although it was difficult physically, and then he broke a bone in his right foot twice. And the gift to Metcalf, who was taken down by McLaughlin.
Nobody blocked McLaughlin. I mean, they pulled the guard, pulled McLaughlin, went where the guard left. Here it comes. Look at McLaughlin. Comes right down the line. He bumps in to Horde, number 33, who doesn't block him, and then really bumps in to Metcalf. Here it is. McLaughlin's there. Horde never gets a block on him, and he just destroys Metcalf.
Chester McLaughlin saw limited action last week because of an injured toe. He has had himself a superb first quarter. Loss of 5 on that play. 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Kosar with the time, but could not find anyone. The sidearm pass is picked off again. Derek Hoskins with the interception. And he's run out by Leroy Horde.
Bernie was trying to force this ball into Carrier, and Mark Carrier he stopped. As Kosar stepped up to throw the ball, Carrier stops, and Hoskins picks it up. Watch this, on the right of the screen. See Carrier, the ball is high, but had he kept going downfield, he would have been in position to catch the ball. He really slowed down. Hoskins makes a great play on the ball. And Anthony Smith, 94, watch this. He's on Jones on the outside. And he's right there on Kosar and just drops him as soon as he throws the ball. Anthony Smith told us, if the offensive lineman makes a mistake, I will get a sack.
Hoskins with his first interception of the season. Only 4 seconds remaining in the quarter from the 19-yard line. It's Tyrone Montgomery. He turned the corner as time runs out in this opening quarter. Mike Johnson made the stop on Tyrone Montgomery. The Raiders 10, the Browns nothing after 1. So that's reassuring. It looked good.
It looked great. I couldn't hear anything.
You didn't hear it. I see. Greg Robinson, the ball carrier, as the second quarter gets underway. Mike Johnson made the stop. You know, most of America does take the same approach when they watch television.
You don't listen to it?
Yeah.
Well, I know when they see us.
Sequest did very well in the ratings, although where you were, I don't think it was a Nielsen household.
No, they were people were making phone calls with things. The Raiders' possessions first quarter, 10 minutes, 35 seconds, but most importantly, 10 points.
Bernie Kosar intercepted twice. Coming into today, he is leading the NFL, actually the best in history in terms of least interceptions. He's been picked off twice. Hostetler completing to Willie Gault.
I'm going to keep going on this point, and it's very important because you got to look at the time that Hostetler has. Willie Gault downfield being covered. Okay, that's Selwyn Jones, 22. Now he releases him to the inside. But the most important thing is that watch the time that Hostetler has to throw the ball. I mean, he's got a chance to look around to his first, second, and tertiary receiver. Whoa. Where did that come from?
I beg your pardon?
Well, primary, secondary, and tertiary.
It is a first and goal at the 5. Robinson and Smith are the running backs. And the handoff to Robinson. Battling his way. Greg Robinson, 8th-round draft pick. Our rookie from Northeast Louisiana was stopped by Eric Turner and Mike Johnson.
The only linebacker so far for Cleveland to do anything is Mike Johnson. Now Clay Matthews, 57. He's been around a long time. Here's Clay Matthews stepping up and getting blocked, getting knocked out of the hole by number 72, the center Mosbar. When you fill the hole, you have to stay in the hole. And it's easy to say sitting up here.
Smith lined up in front of Robinson. Hostetler looking to throw, but he's spun around and taken down back at the 10 by Dan Footman, a 2nd-round draft pick, a rookie from Florida State. There he is, number 78, Dan Footman.
Now here's Hostetler play action. Watch this. Try to hold a defensive end, but they're just coming. They're on the goal line. Play action really doesn't work down here because the defensive linemen are not folded in any way, shape, or form. Their job is to come across the line of scrimmage, to penetrate the gap that they're in. Footman comes across, nobody blocks, and play action pass, he gets Hostetler.
And Footman, a player who has made it back from knee problems. It sends it back to a 3rd and goal from the 9. And we have a timeout taken by the Raiders, so they have used their final timeout of this first half. Raiders 10, the Browns nothing. All week after week, one of the more popular segments in our telecast to look at the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings.
One of my favorites.
And a sponsored segment at that. John Elway leading the way, followed by Boomer Esiason, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Jeff Hostetler, number 5, and Bernie Kosar. And the number 6 slot, although Bernie has had a very difficult time here today.
That's one of the things that really knocks you down as far as points. Interceptions. I mean, that puts you down in the 50% bracket.
A 3rd and goal from the 9. Hostetler takes the hit, and his pass overthrown. He threw it away. Horton and Brown in the area, so the field goal unit checks in for the Raiders.
They threw a full-scale blitz at him, and Pepper Johnson, 53, came in from the backside and just drilled Hostetler. There was just no place for this ball to go but up in the air. Left-hand side of the screen, watch 53. They just don't have enough people to block. Pepper hits him. Watch where the ball goes. They're just making their breaks when the ball takes off.
This a 27-yard field goal attempt for Jager, who in the first quarter, with a minute remaining, hit from 24 and make it 2 of 2 for Jeff Jaeger. The Raiders 13, the Browns nothing.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, makers of the all-new Galant, the new thinking in automobiles. By Xerox, the document company. See your documents differently. See your business differently. By Hilton Hotels. Hilton, so nice to come home to. And by Allied Signals Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go.
Back at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Jeff Jaeger again successfully keeps the ball away from the dangerous Eric Metcalf. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
There are sacks to what they call hurries. This guy here, that's Pepper Johnson. You're going to watch him cheat up and watch the blitz from here, here, and all these guys coming. They disguise it very well, but I'll show you what a hurry really is. See him sneaking up? Here comes Pepper on the backside. He forces Hostetler to throw the ball in a hurry. They call that a hurry. And that's almost as good as a sack because there was no completion.
Looks like Frank Stams, a backup linebacker, is down on the field. He's hurt. There's Pepper Johnson. He was cut by Dan Reeves, who had questioned his work ethic in New York. Reeves wanted Pepper, who had played on the inside for 7 years, to play outside linebacker. Johnson wanted his contract redone to reflect the salary of an outside linebacker, as he put it. The Giants refused. Now Pepper says he's very happy to play outside linebacker for the Browns. He says he was contacted by 6 other teams aside from Cleveland, but chose the Browns because of his association with Bill Belichick when Bill was an assistant under head coach Bill Parcells. So Pepper Johnson starting on the outside today, what with David Brandon inactive because of a pulled hamstring. The Raiders 13 and the Browns nothing with 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. And there is Frank Stams, who was shaken up during the course of that kickoff return.
I didn't know you got more money for playing inside linebacker or outside linebacker.
Well,
I thought it was just your ability to play.
Well, Pepper felt that outside linebackers around the league were being paid more. He also, I have a feeling, felt that he didn't want to put himself at risk. He had established himself inside, so why go outside and perhaps not have as good a season?
Thank you.
And it's a first down from the 20-yard line. Bernie Kosar, who has had a very rocky start, completes at the 28-yard line of the tight end. Brian Kinchen taken down by Winston Moss. Let's go back to Jim Lampley in New York.
Why, you ask, Marv, are we showing you a 34-yard John Carney field goal? Well, it's because Carney's artful field goal kicking has tied an NFL record. That was the 25th strike in a row for Carney, tying the record set by Morton Anderson a week ago. San Diego leads Houston 6-0. Carney's art. Right, Marv?
Hold that, Jim.
Oh, Jimmy. Smooth talker.
11 and a half remaining in this first half here in Los Angeles. And it's Tommy Vardell taken down by the combination of Aaron Wallace and Derek Hoskins.
You know, there's backs in the backfield. You got Leroy Horde that isn't carrying the ball. He's a blocker. He's blocking on Mr. Anthony Smith, 94. See, Smith, watch this. Here comes 33. Down on the ground you go. First down for the Browns. That's a nice block. And Horde is walking off very slowly. Well, he's kind of walking off in a daze, and finally the official said, we'll give you an official's timeout. And that's Mr. Pointer down there. The Pointer sister's brother Pointer.
Aaron Pointer, head linesman, and his sisters did a nice job singing the national anthem. And there they are. Aaron very proud.
Oh, he was applauding.
Pre-game meeting with the officials that are staff conducted. Well, Horde is to the sideline. Here's Metcalf. Metcalf in trouble. Metcalf is taken down. Winston Moss and Howie Long combine on the stop, and penalty flags are thrown.
You know, I believe this ball was supposed to be thrown back to Bernie Kosar. Look at this. Now here goes Metcalf. He looks that way. There's no place to go. You see Moss on the ground. Then Howie Long helps out. But I got to believe that this is either going to be a pass. Look at him here. But Moss is already out there. Bernie's running around just getting out of the way. Bernie said, I don't want any part of this. Too many black jerseys. Then we have flags all over the place over there. We have a personal foul against the Cleveland Browns, which is going to add insult to injury.
Eric Metcalf has thrown the ball on numerous occasions. You thought it might have been a flea flicker being set up, huh?
Well, I don't think he had time to do the flea or the flicker.
Oh.
Personal foul, number 88 on the offense, half the distance to the goal line. The foul occurred long after the play was over. Third down.
Long after the play was over.
I mean, this is, you know, when you take a look at how bad Cleveland has looked offensively so far in this ballgame, the surprising thing is with the turnovers and where the possession was, they're still only down by 13 points in this game. But this is third down in a year.
Yes, second and about 32.
Correction, it is now second down. Second down.
It is second down, about 32. Howie Long was telling us yesterday that Jeff Hostetler has meant so much to the defensive unit, as you pointed out, because it keeps them off the field. Howie says it's much nicer not being on the field this year as much as last season. He said last year he took 1,000 snaps. He said he was 32 at the time. Kosar back at the goal line, completes out at the 17 to Mark Carrier, and he's well covered by the linebacker Mike Jones. He was 32 at the time a year ago.
I said, how old are you now? He said, I think I'm 29 now. I guess that puts years on you. But he is 33 now. But 1,000 snaps. He just said that's just too many. I mean, not for a guy 32 years old.
Howie also said that Hostetler has fit in so well. He said Jeff Hostetler, now I'm not sure what this means, but he said he's not the usual quarterback type personality. He said not your typical aloof, big-time guy quarterback.
Well, Hostetler, what he does, he's one of the few quarterbacks in the National Football League that I know of that lifts weights with the offensive line.
All right, Metcalf is stopped back behind the line by Chester McLaughlin, who's had a sensational first half. Well, his former quarterback teammate with the Giants, Phil Simms, also lifted weights along with the offensive lineman.
Yeah, well, that's where he got it then, I guess. But the players like that. I mean, they really, really respect this guy.
Eric Metcalf has been handcuffed to this point, and Brian Hansen is back at his 4-yard line to punt to Tim Brown. Brown at his 38. Here's Brown on the return. And takes the hit at the 42. It is a 49-yard punt, 8-yard return. 8 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the first half. Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka with a look at scores and highlights around the NFL. Some changes in the Raider alignment. James Jett, a very swift rookie from West Virginia, has checked in, and a backfield now of Greg Robinson and Tyrone Montgomery. Alone deep back is Robinson, and he got the call. And right here, let's get back to Jim in New York.
And let's entertain ourselves with another field goal. This one breaks the NFL record and gives John Carney sole possession of the mark, his 26th in a row. It gives San Diego a 9-0 lead over Houston. And for Carney and his artful field goal kicking, Marv, the honeymoon isn't over yet. All yours.
You know, Paul, I fear Jim might take it too far. he was moving along that line.
Yeah, he is going over the edge of it.
Second down and 6. Hostetler took a shot, came hobbling away, and is hauled down at the 46 by Jerry Ball.
Michael Dean Perry, I mean, he was just in his face. He's the guy that really made the play. He kept coming, and forces Hostetler to step up. 92 is Michael Dean Perry. Watch his hand come in. Boom. Hostetler has to go down. He's a shot coming back from the other side, and then finally Jerry Ball makes the play. But look at this from this backside. Here comes Pleasant over the top. That's just great hustle by Hostetler.
Third sack for the Cleveland Browns. Raiders 13th and the Browns nothing as we come up on 7 minutes to go in the half. Hostetler's pass is complete for a first down. A sideline pattern with Willie Gall.
Again, you know, we're not belaboring this point, but you've got to look at the time that Hostetler has to throw the ball. Selwyn Jones is number 82. But we'll look at the time that Willie Gault has to run this pattern. He comes down, he stops, he comes back. But it all starts with pass protection. Watch this. Hostetler just stands right in the pocket. The pass protection is there. He really has no heat late by Perry, but it's too late.
Hostetler, 7 for 12, 71 yards, and a touchdown. He completed 68% of his passes over the first 2 games as a first down. Goes short range again, and it's dropped. Robinson not able to hang on.
You know, there's a time, you see in Hostetler, he's getting hit all the time. But there is a time, Marv, when you have too much confidence in your offensive line, really. And you're going to get yourself whacked when you do that, because he's taken an awful lot of time to throw the football. And when you do that, you're going to get those late hits.
It is a second down and 10. At the tackles, Gerald Perry and Ken Lanier. Lanier for the injured Bruce Wilkerson. At the guard, Steve Wisniewski and Max Montoya. And the center is Don Mosbaum. Hostetler on a screen off the deflection. It's handled by Steve Smith. And Smith able to run it down to the 36. Taken down by Pepper Johnson.
It looks like James Jones, number 96, got his hand on the ball. And then Smith catches it. Here it is. It is a screen. The blitz is coming. The ball is popped up in the air by James Jones. Smith just keeping his eye on the ball, but it'll be third down and about 4. Look the outside. Look at 96. He does. James Jones gets his hand on the ball. Great concentration by Steve Smith, 35. Picks up about 4 yards.
It's a 3rd and 4 at the Cleveland 36-yard line. Montgomery. Tyrone Montgomery running well for the first down. 11-yard advance. Tyrone Montgomery, a first-year pro from Ole Miss, out of a family of 10 boys. Now, all 9 went to college on football scholarship. 5 have played professionally. 4 in the NFL. The best known is Wilbert Montgomery, a 3-time Pro Bowl running back with the Eagles. This is Wilbert's youngest brother, Tyrone Montgomery.
And they're all proud of him. That's an excellent run. But, you know, I was looking at Anthony Pleasant, number 98, defensive end for Cleveland. He said, I forced him deep. Where was everyone?
Raiders first down at the Browns 25. And the play is stopped. A penalty marker is thrown.
Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, the play clock ran out. We talked yesterday about the penalty problem the Raiders have had, despite the fact that they have played well here in the early going. But despite their success over the first 2 games, they committed 18 penalties. Their opponents with only 6, although Art Shell told us last week at least the Raiders came down to 7, but it's still a problem.
It is a problem. And you remember now, Hostetler's already taken 3 timeouts because the clock was running down. This time he had no more timeouts. He couldn't take one, and they never did get the play off.
It's a 1st and 15, and once again the big rush sends Hostetler down, and a penalty flag is also thrown.
Jerry Ball almost got the ball. He came across. He was offside. He was offside, but he makes the play. I mean, you're quick, Jerry, but you're not that quick, man. They've been offside all over. Here it is. Watch this.
On the defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's the 5th time. Well, Ball has 2, Perry has 2, and Rob Burnett has 1. Here's Ball. He's in the backfield. What do they call him? Crush and rush?
Crush and rush have been very quiet to this point. They've been on the field for a good portion of this first half, and that has not helped. We're down to 4 minutes remaining in the half, and the Raiders have a 13-0 lead on the Browns. Hostetler. And it is ruled incomplete. Diving attempt by Willie Gault.
We've called their numbers 92 and 93 more for penalties than we did for tackles. These guys are having a tough day. And they're over the ball. Now, I'm trying to figure out, when was it yesterday that Perry said he doesn't go offside anymore? Is it early in the day?
You know, Paul, it's one nice thing about you. You take a point and you don't hammer away when a guy is really in trouble. You know, we've all noticed that about you. It's kind of a nice part of your personality.
Well, he just said, I don't go off sides anymore.
It is a 2nd down and 10. Look at the time of possession. Raiders 17 and change. Hostetler is ripped down and a flag has been thrown. And he continues to take a pounding despite the fact that he's had an excellent first half. Penalty on the Raiders.
How about holding on top of everything else? It may be 79. Lanier was there, and Perry 71. The 2 tackles were there. Hostetler is taking a beating. I mean, there's only so much you can do for your team. Here it comes. 79 is Lanier, and I don't know whether he's the one that's caught holding, but Hostetler, look at, he's trying to throw this ball and he can't, and then Johnson grabs him. Who did he say it was?
Gerald Perry, number 71, the left tackle, was called for the hold. 4th sack of the day for the Browns. Number 2 for Mike Johnson.
And Hostetler's on a knee, and the officials are taking an official timeout here. They have no timeouts. He has taken a pounding. They are winning 13-0. I understand that, but man, how much can you take?
On that very first series, he was shaken up, was forced to leave, and Vince Evans came on, and very first play, only play, throws a 25-yard completion, then goes back to the sidelines, and Hostetler takes him right down the field. So as they check out Jeff Hostetler, we'll take a break with 3:47 left, first half. Once again, Jeff Hostetler is forced to the sideline. He was sacked for the 4th time in this first half. Mike Johnson coming up with his 2nd sack, and Vince Evans is back on. Vince Evans, who began his NFL career with the Chicago Bears back in 1977. Evans being chased. He could not find anyone and had to take it out of bounds.
Because the heat is coming. And the reason Hostetler had his 4th sack, I want you to show you something. Watch the defensive secondary. I'm not going to pick out individuals, but we're going to run this for a second. Here's Hostetler back to pass. Now hold it right here. Look at this. Covered, 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 covered. There's absolutely no place to go with the football except right here, eat it. And he did.
End result, 5th sack of the day by the Browns. Jeff Gossett has come on with the punting unit. 3:08 remaining in this first half. The Raiders 13 and the Browns nothing. 2nd punt by the directional punter Gossett, and he was gunning for the corner, but it carries to the end zone. It's a 38-yard punt, but it comes out to the 20. That is not what Gossett had in mind. Beautiful 80-degree day here in Los Angeles. One of the world's most enduring corporate symbols, the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear blimp Eagle that is based in Carson, California. And Paul, as you well know, Goodyear blimps have been flying over major sporting events since 1925.
The captain of this guy is Charlie Russell. What a great guy. He's a little different. He could be playing, Charlie.
He's a little different?
He's a little different than most pilots. I think Charlie could be playing down there. Ooh, he's wacko.
You're calling someone wacko.
Yeah, Charlie is.
First down from the 20. Barry Kosar completes to Leroy Horde. Horde tried to cut away, looking for that first down marker, and lost because of the cut. Winston Moss wrapped him up. Let's get back to Jim Lampley in New York.
Because we want you to see the first touchdown of the day in Jack Murphy after a long Oiler drive. Warren Moon looks for Webster Slaughter and finds him from 2 yards out. Houston with the TD that cuts the San Diego lead to 9-7. Let's go back to one of the world's most enduring corporate symbols, Marv Albert.
All right, Jim, hurry up offense being executed by the Browns, but Howie Long is right on the case.
They're not booing, they're saying Howie. I mean, this is it's getting ugly early. This offensive line is just not holding up for Cleveland, and Kosar really, it's an altogether different deal. Here comes Howie Long. He just breaks right up the middle and makes the play. Howie Long, I mean, just Bob Dahl, number 72, never even slowed him down.
First sack of the season for Howie Long. 2 minutes remaining in in this first half, so the 2-minute warning timeout is given. It's the Raiders with a 13-0 lead on the Browns. We'll be back in a moment. Here's the report on Jeff Hostetler. We're told from the sideline he suffered a sprained left knee, and he is hoping to walk it off. Continues to toss along the sideline.
What he's doing is stepping up, Marvin, to see if he can put any pressure on that left leg if it'll hold for him to throw the ball.
Look at those numbers. Only 14 total yards for the Browns. 3rd down and 14. The screen set up. Penalty marker is down. Ford out to the 20 and taken down, reaching to the 24. Hit down by the strong safety, Eric Hoskins. So the total yards by Cleveland. The hold is called on the Browns. How about this? Eric Metcalf has run with the ball 3 times from minus 18 yards.
And remember, last year he had 4 TDs.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Right here. Those are not good numbers.
A year ago in game 3 of the season, Browns beat the Raiders here at the Coliseum 28-16. At the time, both clubs were struggling at 0-2. Cleveland has won the last 2 games against the Raiders. Raiders had won the previous 5, including playoff games in 1980 and 1982. A look from behind, Brian Hansen. Jim Brown is back. Brown at his 28. Brown across the 40-yard line. A 48-yard punt by Hansen. Brown back for 15. Little pushing and shoving as we go to commercial.
It's the lead in.
Jeff Hostetler hears it from the crowd despite the sprained left knee. Re-enters the game. Raiders do not have any timeouts remaining. 1:40 to go. First half. Raiders with a 13-0 lead. Tyrone Montgomery is the lone deep back. As we resume, a first down at the 42. And apparently the Browns have called for a timeout, giving us an opportunity to check in with Jim Lampley at NFL Live. Jim?
All right, Marv, let's watch the Oilers take the lead in San Diego. Stan Humphries having an iffy day. Throws in the flat. Darrell Lewis steps in front of Nate Lewis, picks it off, goes 47 yards. Watch as Humphries, in a desperate effort to achieve the appearance of Paul McGuire, takes a shot from William Fuller at the goal line. 14-9 Houston. Marvelous?
See, well, I myself, if I'm you, I'm furious. I would not accept that.
From Jim?
Oh,
anything from Jimmy. I mean, what a wonderful person he is.
I get the feeling it's been a very long day in the studio for Jim.
I know. I think Mike's getting ready to whack him. And it's going to be an awfully long day and night for this guy here. Art Modell is just not having fun today. His ties got that undone. Usually you don't see that. Art is upset. The offense has not done a thing. Absolutely nothing. And believe me, when you look at the stats in this game, and the Raiders only up by 13 points, that is unbelievable.
Browns have done a good job, though, in the second half this season. They have been a good second half team. Tyrone Montgomery was hit for a loss. Rob Burnett made the stop with 1.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and the Raiders up by the score of 13-0. Hostetler on a 2-yard touchdown of the backup tight end Andrew Glover. Then a couple of field goals by Jager. Hostetler is taken down inside the 30, and that's the 5th sack for the Browns. Rob Burnett with his 3rd of the season.
They just had a deal with the defensive lineman, and Rob Burnett gets through clean, and he makes a sack. I mean, 6 sacks. I'm serious. You got to get Hostetler out of the ball game. I mean, first of all, now he's not mobile at all, and it's because of his leg. He can't avoid anything. Rob Burnett is number 90. He comes in on the deal that they have there. He just breaks through on the tackle, but you can see Hostetler has no chance whatsoever to move. The man that was beaten is Kenny Lanier. But watch Hostetler now. He sees him coming, but he can't get out of the way.
He has been sacked 5 times. Evans once, so 6 in all for the Browns, and Vince Evans will come back on, and Jeff Hostetler again limps his way to the sideline.
He's going to the locker room now. Enough is enough.
O.J. Simpson, who is on hand with us here in his home area, will have a report on Jeff Hostetler's condition at halftime.
It looks like he can't even straighten it out.
Third and long, third and about 22. Here's Tyrone Montgomery to the 35-yard line. Montgomery in the past used extensively in third down situations during preseason over the first 2 games, but he's run well here in his brief activity. Timeout is taken by the Browns with 1:08 remaining in the half, so they are down to 1 timeout left. The Raiders have used all 3.
I would put a full-scale rush on this punt because offensively they haven't done anything, and they've got to turn this game around a little bit with somewhere, and a good way to do that is start with special teams.
This is a Cleveland Browns team that coming in and won its first 2 games, gunning for their first 3-0 start since back in '79. Browns defeating Cincinnati and San Francisco. An impressive 23-13 win over the 49ers on Monday night in Cleveland. Browns playing errorless ball for the 2nd straight week as they forced 3 Steve Young interceptions. While the Raiders with wins over Minnesota and Seattle last Sunday night, winning at the Kingdome. Gossett back to punt from his 20. Word from the Raiders is that Hostetler will be x-rayed at halftime. Metcalf on the return, weaving his way to the 30, 47-yard punt, 15-yard return. Napoleon McCallum made the stop on Eric Metcalf.
You see what the Raiders did that time? They lined up and snapped the ball in a hurry so that the Cleveland Browns couldn't get any kind of a deal on the rush the punter. They got set and snapped the ball, and the Browns are still standing there.
Just received word that the Browns have been charged with their 3rd timeout, so they do not have any timeouts remaining. 57 seconds to go in the half. It has been an invisible half offensively for Cleveland. Bernie Kosar intercepted twice by Chester McLaughlin and by Derek Hoskins. The Browns from their 30. Kosar stepping up and again goes short range, overthrowing Leroy Hoare.
Mark, one of the things that happens in a situation like this, remember, there are no timeouts. So what the Raiders are doing, they're covering everybody on the outside. Look at the middle of the field. Look at this section right in here. There will be no one there to cover anyone. They want you to throw the ball there. You'll see the tight end will come out to Tillman, Warrior Tillman, 85. He's in the middle. See him right there? There's nobody covering him. But Kosar's smart enough to throw the ball to the outside.
2nd down and 10. Kosar throwing on the run and able to complete. Lawyer Tillman with his first reception. It goes for 15. Lawyer Tillman making it back from an ankle injury. He has had an injury-plagued career in his 5th season out of Auburn. First down at the 45. And Kosar coughed it up. It is covered up, though. Steve Everett, the center, able to get to it.
Bernie bent down to pick up the ball. This is a fumble. The clock is still running. Bernie bent down to pick up the ball and then tried to throw it and got nailed.
Final seconds of the half.
You get the ball at the beginning of the 2nd half, please. Don't do anything foolish.
A very bleak first half for the Cleveland Browns. And that is the end of the first half. Raiders hearing it from the crowd here at the Coliseum. Art Shell and his club with a 13-0 lead on the Cleveland Browns. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Halftime in Los Angeles, the Raiders 13, the Browns nothing. Raiders with a dominant first half. Cleveland with only 37 total yards in the first half, but Jeff Hostetler's status uncertain for the 2nd half with a knee problem. Now let's get back to Jim Lampley.
Welcome back to the NFL Live studio in New York. Jim Lampley along with Mike Ditka. You're watching the Raiders beating the Cleveland Browns 13-0 at halftime. Mike, 38 total yards, 37 total yards in the first half for Cleveland. No offense.
The offense looks very inept. They're playing pretty good on defense. They've thwarted the Raiders a couple times when they got down and they had to settle for a couple field goals. But I tell you, what's scary right now is Hostetler's hurt. and he looks like he's hurt significantly in the football game. He probably won't return, and this could be a big blow to the Raiders. I do not see them winning with any of those other guys playing quarterback, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Keeping in mind that they won a big game at the end of the year with Vince Evans playing QB.
Yeah, but that was when the game didn't count. It didn't mean a thing.
This one does. Houston and San Diego down in Jack Murphy Stadium. The Chargers trail 14-9 at halftime. Big plays for the Oilers in the second quarter, including a Moon touchdown pass and an interception run back for a touchdown. Stan Humphries, 6 of 21 in the game. Atlanta and San Francisco ongoing right now in Candlestick Park, and the Falcons are leading at 13-9 in the third quarter there. Bobby Hebert started the game at quarterback for the Falcons and has thrown a touchdown pass to Andre Rison. Meanwhile, earlier today, many of you saw the game in which the New England Patriots fell to the Seattle Seahawks 17-14. Another tough luck loss for the Patriots. Rick Meyer, looking like a Hollywood star and played like a star for much of the first half. In the game's opening drive, Meyer hits Brian Blades for a 4-yard touchdown. It was Meyer's first career TD pass, and it was 7-0 Seahawks. Chris Warren also had a big game for the Hawks. Here he scores from 14 yards out on the way to a 36-carry, 174-yard day, 1 TD. Seahawks took a 17-0 lead, but in the fourth quarter, the Patriots came back, got 2 TDs with 30 seconds left. Had a chance to tie. Scott Sisson from 54 yards out. The field goal hit the crossbar. Parcells and the Patriots fall to 0-3. Comparison, Meyer 12 of 16 for 116 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Bledsoe 20 of 43, 235 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Both quarterbacks showed some guts and resilience, Mike.
They did. I think the stats bear out what's happening. You know, right now the Patriots do not have a running game, and therefore they have to throw the ball a lot more than they like to. This is not Bill's kind of football. And I think that's the wrong thing for them to do. But they have no choice. On the other hand, you take the Seahawks, they got a great running game. They can be selective. They can use the play action. And this kid's going to complete a higher percentage of his passes. As you see, 12 for 16 is no slouch day.
All right, most thrilling game of the day so far, and maybe one of the most thrilling of the early season. Philadelphia winning for the 11th straight time at home, beating the Washington Redskins 34-31. Kerry Conklin in for the injured Mark Rippon, threw for 3 TDs in his first career start. Here he finds a wide-open Ricky Sanders for 34 yards. The Redskins led 14-3 in the second. What a day for Randall Cunningham and Calvin Williams. Williams with a beautiful diving catch in the end zone here. 9-yard fourth-quarter scoring play ties the game at 24. Earlier, Randall had thrown to Williams for an 80-yard TD. Then the Redskins respond on the very next play from scrimmage. Reggie Brooks, the beautiful rookie from Notre Dame with a burst up the middle, is gone. No one is going to catch Brooks. 85-yard touchdown on the way to becoming one of 5 early game runners with over 100 yards today. Washington takes the lead 31-24 as Mark Rippon says, "Go this way, Reggie." But the Eagles got a field goal. And then in the closing seconds, Cunningham from the 10-yard line finds Williams again on the back line. 34-31 come from behind win for the Eagles. Calvin Williams, 8 catches, 181 yards, 3 TDs. Cunningham's athletic ability is like lightning in a bottle. You can't keep it in there all day.
The thing that was so amazing about the play is, I think a couple years ago he might have tucked that ball down and ran with it, even though there was very little time on the clock, and tried to make the play himself. He hung in there, he took his time, he looked, and he threw a great pass. Williams made a great catch.
Game of the day. Meanwhile, New Orleans stays unbeaten as they beat the Detroit Lions 14-3. Wade Wilson, 2 touchdown passes. Ronaldo Turnbull, another big day on defense with 3 sacks. And the New York Giants held the ball for more than 43 minutes of possession. Rodney Hampton, 41 carries, 134 yards. Giants are 3-0 as they beat the Rams 20-10. Cincinnati traveled to Pittsburgh and got trounced as the Steelers found their offense. Neil O'Donnell, 21 of 25 in the game. Steelers win it 34-7 over Cincinnati. Dwight Stone had some big plays catching and on reverses. We're going to take you back to the Los Angeles Coliseum to pick up the Raiders and the Browns with Marv Albert and Paul McGuire as NBC's NFL Live continues.
Halftime at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Raiders with a 13-0 lead on the Browns with Paul McGuire. I'm Marv Albert. And it was completely a Raider first half. Look at the stats on the Browns. 37 total yards. Eric Metcalf carried the ball 3 times, and it reads minus 18 yards for Metcalf.
But the most important thing you want to take a look at here, the score right now is only 13-0. 2 touchdowns and the Browns are ahead. And I'm not saying it could happen. Defensively, both of these teams are playing extremely well. 2 turnovers by the Browns. Only 6 points in those 2 turnovers. So, you know, you've got to be the Browns have to be having happy with the defense offensively. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, the Raiders do have a major concern. Jeff Hostetler took a pounding in the first half and went down with a knee problem. For more on that, let's go down to the field. Here's O.J. Simpson.
Well, Marv, it could be real bad news for the Raiders. I walked up the tunnel with Jeff Hostetler. He was having a lot of pain with the inside of his left knee. Now, he hurt his knee. He doesn't wear knee braces like a lot of the quarterbacks wear. They brought him to the sideline. They put a knee brace on. He went back out. He attempted to play, but he was in too much pain. So as he was walking up the tunnel, he told me he was hurting bad. So that could be bad news for the Raiders. We'll see if he comes out. I'll try to get to him here in the second half. Marv, back to you.
All right, O.J. Hostetler in the first half, 8 for 15, 80 yards, 1 touchdown, sacked 5 times. That man, Vince Evans, relieved him on several occasions. He did hit on his first pass attempt, a 25-yarder that was key in leading to the first Raider touchdown. And look at the statistics. Time of possession. Raiders had it almost 20 minutes in the first half.
Yeah, but the most important thing when you take a look at it, and look at the 2 turnovers of Cleveland. We mentioned that a moment ago, but only 6 points off those turnovers, but they did get 2 field goals. The first drive was a long drive all the way down the field. That's where they got their first 7. But I still think the Browns are in this ball game if they can put something down offensively.
Call the report from the Raiders. Jeff Hostetler still back in the locker room, undergoing X-rays. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Kicked by Jeff Jager once again. And here is Bernie Kosar, who was intercepted twice in the first half. Check out the futility of the Cleveland Browns. Not a very pretty picture of the first half.
Well, when you go down that list, just take a look at the number of plays, and that's the important thing, really. Look, 3-3, 2-5, 3-4. I mean, you're on the field, you punt. Or intercepted.
Only 3 first downs for the Browns in that first half. Ford in motion. Bardell, the ball carrier. East to the 25, met by the strong safety, Derek Hoskins, free safety, Eddie Anderson. Kosar, you look at the numbers, 7 for 11. That looks pretty good, but he was ineffective. Only 50 yards and the 2 interceptions.
That doesn't look pretty good. Would you be surprised to see Testaverde with his mobility maybe in the game later on in the second half if the offense can't move it?
I think the key is that Bernie was expecting Michael Dyson rather than Michael Jackson out.
Well, he's also expecting somebody to block in the offensive line.
And that is incomplete. Mark Carrier, the intended receiver, Terry McDaniel on the coverage. We talked with Michael Jackson yesterday. Michael coming off a sensational game on Monday night, a career high, 105 yards, 5 catches. And Michael Jackson is back to that name. Remember last year and in preseason, he was #1, Michael Jackson. He decided to change to Michael Dyson in honor of his father, and then last week went back to 81. Michael Jackson, he said, will use that for the rest of the way. Here's Kosar. Double coverage. Not allowing Lawyer Tillman to get near the football. It was thrown away. James Trapp and Derek Hoskins combining on the coverage.
It looked like he threw Lawyer Tillman away. He's out there. He's double covered on the outside. And watch what happens. They're covering him beautifully out here. And then a little bit of pushing and shoving. That's what the Browns are complaining about. James Trapp, number 37. To no avail.
And again, the Browns forced to punt. Ryan Hansen will punt for the 4th time. Tim Brown is back. Brown drifting over and then lets it go. And that will go down as a 52-yard punt for Hansen. So Vince Evans will come on with the offensive unit. Gerald Perry and Ken Lanier at the tackle, Steve Wisniewski and Max Montoya at the guards. The center, Don Mospar. Look at that first half possession chart for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Yeah, when you take a look at this deal here, you see the 8s and 7s now, number of plays. But when you see those 8s and 7s, look what happened. 8, you have a touchdown. When you go down to a 7, you got a field goal. So things are working pretty well for the Raiders offensively. I mean, not great, but well enough to get 13 points.
The Raiders start from the 24-yard line. And the pitch for Robinson. Stop back behind the line. Greg Robinson with his 11th carry. He run for 43 yards. Pepper Johnson over 53. And Jerry Ball made the stop.
Here's Pepper coming from inside to the outside. Gets rid of a block. Springs out the play. Gets in and helps out. Playing like a stack linebacker. He is a little bit inside. He's not directly outside. The one linebacker that's plays outside specifically is Clay Matthews.
Johnson on the outside with David Brandon inactive because of a full hamstring.
Delay a game.
On the offense.
Just remember something, folks, if you just tuned in the first half, Jeff Hostetler had to call timeout 3 different times because the clock was running down. Then when they had no timeouts, he was called for delay a game. This is the second delay a game so far. There would have been 3 other ones had they not taken the timeouts.
And for those who may have tuned in late, Nick Bell was inactive once again because of a hamstring injury. During the course of the week, there was some thought we might see Rocket Ismail, but he's still out because of an injured back. Greg Robinson with some nice running. Everson Walls, another former Giant, now member of the Cleveland Browns, came up from left corner to make the stop.
This is really a nice stop by Everson Walls. Now here's a guy playing corner, and watch the tackle he makes. He just gets down underneath and unloads right there. That is a super tackle.
We're talking about the other one-time Giant, Pepper Johnson. Pepper returning to the Coliseum for the first time since he said that the Raiders play like a bunch of ducks after they defeated the Giants last October, 13-10. Some of the Raiders taking exception. Nice play as Evans was able to complete the Galt. Evans off the roll, found Galt. Selwyn Jones on the stop.
But it'll be 4th down. It wasn't enough. Now, Vince Evans does a great job. The blitz is on. He gets back to the outside, and Willie Galt. Now that's a smart receiver. He's coming back to help his quarterback. Wasn't a first down, but they didn't lose 15 or 20 yards either.
So here's Gossett. Back at his 17. Metcalf waiting at the 20. Yes, an excellent punt. Metcalf for the 25. Runs into a crowd. Stopped at the 30 by Ricky Dixon. 53-yard punt and a 15-yard return. Oh, beautiful day in Southern California. Temperature at 81 degrees. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. A 13-0 Raider advantage over the Browns. We're 4 minutes in. 3rd quarter, and Bernie Kosar and the Browns trying desperately to get something going. It's back to the ground. Tommy Vardell stopped by the right defensive tackle, Nolan Harrison. Well, the Los Angeles Raiders coming into today allowed only 20 points. The first 2 games, fewest points allowed. There's Jeff Hostetler. And O.J. Simpson checked back at the Raider locker room, and he was told that X-rays showed negative, which is terrific news for Jeff and the Raiders. However, his ankle is also hurting. He is returning to the sidelines, but probably will not get back in. Penalty marker down as Vardell brings across the 40 for a first down. He was taken down by Derek Hoskins, but there is a flag on the play.
And it'll be offside for the defense. They let the play run. Pick up the first down anyway. It would be a first down by penalty, but I think they got more yards on the run.
So Jeff Hostetler,
offside,
who was
number
very
75 on the
effective.
defense. The penalty is declined.
Jeff very effective despite the fact that he was taken down 5 times. The Browns with 6 sacks in all. As Howie Long was telling us yesterday, and certainly true with the Raiders having a very impressive time of possession stat, the defense off the field. And they have allowed only 20 points now in 10 quarters. Good running by Vardell, breaking tackles to reach to the 48-yard line.
This is the best the Browns have looked, and the reason for it, 3 times giving the ball to Vardell, not throwing the ball. 3 plays in a row. This is a draw. Bernie goes back, Kozar goes back and hands to Vardell. He breaks through a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and that's Winston Moss, 99, and picks up about, almost 6 yards. Here comes, Anthony Smith. We talked to him yesterday. Look at this tackle he makes. He told, what did he say? He leads the league in sacks, but he said, I don't want to be known just as a pass rusher. And I'll get back to Smith in a minute because he really said some other interesting things for this team.
2nd down and 5, and the Browns trying to establish a running game. Metcalf brings right to the marker. We mentioned the injury suffered by Nick Bell and Rocket Ismail, who are not active for today. The Browns looking to activate Kevin Mack within the next couple of weeks. Remember, he changed his mind about playing after retiring back in July.
And, you know, he's coming back, an added addition to the Browns. But the other thing I was talking about Anthony Smith is that, I mean, it really is amazing. Here is the guy that leads the National Football League in sacks going into this game. And he doesn't start. And he said it's not important. I just want to be able to help this team, but I want to be known as a complete football player, not the guy that comes in and sacks. He plays an awful lot. He plays about 3/4 of the time. And the one thing about Anthony that I will never do again is say, hello, Anthony, how are you? Because 1 hour later, he will talk to you, folks. Believe me, you talk to that man, he will talk to you for hours.
Yeah, we asked him about not being introduced with the starters, as you say. Says he's not fazed by it. Said if you do the job, your name will be heard enough. Crowd getting into this for this 3rd and 1, and Chester McLaughlin came up and made the stop.
They had the big running back in the backfield, James Jones, and it didn't do any good because they ran by the guy that's being tackled. Now here's a situation where the Browns won't go for it. They actually lost almost an entire yard. Now they want to punt the ball. I mean, it's no reason to get in a hurry getting off the field if you're going to punt the ball, unless you're going to do something like this. They are not going to punt the ball.
Well, Vinny Testaverde checked in, and the Raiders call for a timeout. The Browns giving the Raiders a couple of looks, and the Raiders wisely took the timeout.
All right, Marv, down on the field is Vinny Testaverde. He's behind the center. Now, the punter Hansen, there's Testaverde. The punter Hansen is on. What they're doing here, they will probably go ahead and punt, but what they're doing here is they've forced the Raiders to stay in their basic defense. They are in their regular defense. Now, watch this. They'll go punt, but there's no one back.
Testaverde in line to take the snap, and then the Browns decide to go the punt route. And it carries to the end zone. It's a 50-yard punt. And the Raiders will resume the offense at the 20-yard line. Reminder, next Sunday, NBC Sports presenting more NFL action beginning 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. A look at the lineup of games. The big one, most of you will see the Dolphins take on the Bills. I know, Paul, you'll be working that game. First of 3 straight home dates for Buffalo. That's a homecoming of sorts for Paul McGuire. There's old number 55 as a member of the Buffalo Bills.
Young number 55 then. Hostetler back in again.
Well, Jeff Hostetler has made his return following the X-rays, which came up negative, and he's able to complete to Greg Robinson, who came out of the backfield. The ball was jarred. No, they say incomplete pass. It is ruled incomplete. Mike Johnson on the coverage.
We're starting out again in the second half, and Hostetler with time to throw the ball. But he's standing back there and waiting and waiting and waiting. He's got to get rid of the ball sooner or he's going to get unloaded on again. And if his knee is bad, which they're telling us they x-rayed his ankle, that is okay. If his knee is bad, I don't understand why he's in the ball game.
8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Third quarter. Hostetler with the handoff to Robinson. And he is stacked up. Pepper Johnson leading the way. Greg Robinson, 8th round draft pick, a rookie from Northeast Louisiana. Did a nice job last week. I know Art Shell was very pleased because Robinson in the final minutes was able to eat up time as the Raiders were just looking to hold on to the ball, and Robinson ran well.
And they're very happy with him. But the one thing that the Raiders are working on, and they know that, and everyone else does too, is that they have to establish some kind of a running game in order to win in this league.
Robinson, a very powerful runner, strong legs, and they feel eventually the type of runner who will break tackles. It's a 3rd and 7. You see flags flying. Hostetler has the pass knocked down and again is taken down.
But it's going to be against Cleveland. They're offside again. I'm sorry. Haas is going to learn how to get rid of the ball. And I mean, get rid of it. He's taking a beating.
For Cleveland, their 6th offsides of the game.
Well, the problem is that you're right there. You've got 2 guys that are offside. Pleasant, number 98, is offside.
Offside.
And then
the defense.
And Perry, that ball just slips out of his hand, thrown away, but he gets drilled by Burnett and Pleasant. I mean, how much does he have to take?
And once again, it was Perry who was called on the penalty. That's the 3rd call on Michael Dean. 7.5 remaining, 3rd quarter. Raiders 13 and the Browns nothing. Robinson off the pitch.
He didn't get the first down. This is going to be short. They're going to have to punt. But I'm serious, Marv. I really don't know why Hostetler's in the ballgame. He wants to be in there.
He wants a good mark. He wants a favorable mark on the spotting of the ball right there.
It was also close to a face mask on the play, too. But they're not going to get a favorable mark. It's going to be 4th down. They got to punt the ball. If you're going to just hand off the ball and throw short passes, put Evans in the ballgame. The defense is playing well. I hate second guessing, but I'm going to tell you something. This guy's been taking such a pounding, and you've got a long season ahead of you, and this is not a game in their division.
Well, I don't know if you mentioned that during the Kansas City. Gossett just did get it away, and Metcalf handling the punt out to the 20, and he was run out of bounds. Ricky Dixon led the way. I know you felt the same way during that Kansas City-Houston game last week. We'll get back to that in a moment. Well, all the drama and emotion, one of the finest traditions in golf, returns to NBC as we bring you coverage of the 30th Ryder Cup. NBC Sports will have 10.5 hours of coverage next weekend. I like the statement from Seve Ballesteros. He said the Americans are just providing a courier service by bringing the Ryder Cup overseas, and it will stay right there. But a trash talk from Seve, and a big hole. Tommy Bardell. Bardell taking advantage of the big hole, and that represents Cleveland's offense for the day as he's finally brought down by Lionel Washington. A 54-yard run.
Bardell just breaks the tackle. The hole is there. Here's where he breaks the tackle. Right there. The tackle is broken. Once he does that, Hoskins misses him. And look who's chasing him. Aaron Wallace almost catches him. But you're not going to outrun Lionel Washington. How about this run from up on the flip side? Thank you, Charles. What a run by Bardell. The biggest thing that's happened to Cleveland all day.
And the Browns first down at the Raider 24. Kosar pumping from finally one, and it is a sack for Chester McLaughlin. He was in the grasp.
There were a lot of people there. McLaughlin is there, and also Anthony Smith is there. Kozar just didn't get rid of the ball. I mean, you look at this losses. That offensive line is caving in on him. Here's Kozar looking downfield. Credit the defensive secondary, #1 with the coverage. McLaughlin is the guy that gets the sack. You see the official? They're already calling in the grass. You don't see it that often anymore because they can throw the ball away.
It'll be a 2nd and 19 at the 33. Browns with Tony Jones, Gene Williams at the tackles, Houston Hoover, Bob Dahl at the guards. The rookie Steve Everett is the center. And they're having some problems right now. Vardell taken down by Winston Moss.
And again, Anthony Smith in on the play helping out, but Winston Moss makes the play, number 99. I don't understand the offense. You've got to throw the ball. You've got 2nd down and about 14, and you're going to try to run your big fullback. Yeah, he ran up the middle for like 4 and 5 yards and then broke one. Here's Anthony Smith coming back to the inside. Watch this play. He's the guy that really holds up everything. There's just no place to go for Vardell. Moss makes the tackle, but Smith makes it possible.
Started out as a draw, and Vardell trying to cut to the left side. It is 3rd and long. Jackson is to the right, and then Kosar calls for time. 4:41 remaining in the 3rd. Key play right here for the Browns. As you can see, 3rd and long, 4 yards or more. Cleveland 0 for 4 today. And it's 3rd and 21 with the Browns trailing 13-0. Kosar out of the shotgun. Bad snap, and he has to fall on it.
That is 2 times in this ball game that Kosar has mishandled the snap. Everett is the center. That ball hits him at the knees. You see Everett snapping the ball. He's looking at McLaughlin to block him, number 91. Odell is not a happy man, Arthur. Now they have to punt. They were in excellent field position. They were inside the 25-yard line, and now they're punting from the 39-yard line.
Tim Brown is back. Ryan Hansen awaiting the snap. And Brown lets it go. So it bounces out inside the 10-yard line, a 29-yard punt. And the Raiders will start from their 9, and Jeff Hostetler hangs right in. Paul, I know you made the point last week that, well, you felt that it wasn't, as you put it, an important game or significant game for Kansas City, so Montana sat out with that bruised wrist. I just think they weren't taking any chances, and it's so early. They realize there are 14 more games, because down the road it could be an important game. I don't know if that would be the criteria.
There's another thing here, too, that we have to take into consideration. This guy is hurt, and we know that, and they're slamming him all over the field. The other thing is, if you rest him now, they have a bye next week. You can rest Hostetler for almost 2 weeks, and that's something he needs. You're going to need Hostetler. Offensively, we've talked to these players. We know how important he is to this football team. Not only offensively, but how the defense feels about him. You just cannot afford to hurt this guy. The defense is playing solid. It's a 13-0 game. The Browns have had one play, not a drive, one play with Tommy Vardell that broke out. Other than that, nothing has happened. Why risk this guy now?
Your point is, particularly with Hostetler just handing off as he just did to Robinson, go with Evans. I would think, is Hostetler again with the give, and Robinson is wrapped up. I would think the Raiders would feel comfortable. Perhaps they're a field goal away from sitting Hostetler down.
You know, that really is a good point, Marv. That would put him up to about 16, and then you're looking at it. It would take 2 touchdowns and a field goal to beat you.
I would say 16 would be a field goal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it would take 2 touchdowns and a field goal to beat you, which is a great point. And, you know, it's the first one in 3 games that you've made. You don't know.
It's a 3rd down and 9 back at the 10.
It took me a long time. It took my 3 fingers to get that from 13 to 6. It took a long time to do that.
And now Hostetler throws, and it is deflected, nearly picked off.
And he's hammered again. I mean, he's down on the turf. Mr. Perry Said hello again. And these are just hits, and every one of these are taking their toll. Here comes Perry. Watch this. He throws, bang. He gets drilled by Matthews and Perry. Perry takes him down, and then Matthews blocks him. Watch this. Bing. Bonk. Enough is enough.
And Paul, the Raiders have struggled since the good start. As you see Gossett get it away. Raiders with only 4 first downs their last 8 possessions. Metcalf on the return, trying to dance away out at midfield. Greg Beaker made the stop, 46-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Well, we've seen quite a bit of the Goodyear blip today, logging over 100,000 miles every year, covering major sporting events. What perseverance on the part of those who are in control as we take a behind-the-scenes look inside. It takes a special kind of guy, a special breed of man. The Goodyear people obviously not aware who they are dealing with right here.
I had that baby going 140 miles an hour.
Insurance rates have been greatly affected. So the Browns back to the offense, and Bardell tried the slant on the left side.
And the Browns are doing the one thing the Raiders want them to do. Run the football. Run the clock. We're in the 3rd quarter. It's 2 minutes. They cut down on 2 minutes, and they're running the football. They haven't been able to throw the ball. I'm glad we did so much talking yesterday with Michael Jackson, Dyson, because we haven't seen him today. They haven't even thrown the ball to him. Well, first of all, Mr. Kozar hadn't had time to throw the ball to him. There's Michael.
Yes, Michael Jackson lined up, split to the left, and Mark Carrier at the top of your screen. Leroy Horde in motion. And Bernie Kosar fires at a crowd. That pass intended for Carrier, covered by Terry McDaniel. We mentioned right at the start, the Raiders have 2 of the best cornermen in the NFL, and McDaniel and Washington, and Terry McDaniel providing the coverage here on Mark Carrier.
That ball, if you take a look at Terry McDaniel on that play, all he did was look at Kozar. He watched the ball coming the entire way. Never even made a move to go to Carrier. He went around Carrier to the ball.
Daniel had an excellent game last Sunday night in Seattle. Came up with a big hit on Rick Myrer, forcing a fumble. Eventually led to a Raider touchdown. Kosar out of the shotgun, rolling, can't find anyone, and has to run it out.
You know what's going to happen here? Now, you got a flag coming on Howie Long. What he did was grab Leroy Horde. He was supposed to be a screen. As Horde comes out, Howie Long grabs him, and it's going to be defensive holding. Look at Howie Long. I mean, he just grabs Horde and throws him to the ground. Here's Long, in your face. Watch this. He comes by, you see Horde 33, watch what Howie does. You're on the ground. That's why Bernie Kosar was running with the football. Now, see how the offensive line was drifting to the right? As they were drifting, that was supposed to be a screen. Horde never got out. They got penalized, and that's a first down for Cleveland. Heads up play by Howie. Said, what did I do wrong? I just tackled a guy. 33. I'm sorry he didn't have the ball. Howie made sure he wasn't getting out.
It is a first down for Cleveland. Minute and a half remaining. 3rd quarter. Raiders 13 and the Browns nothing. Bardell moving inside the 45. Howie Long made the stop, so Howie this time getting to the man with the football.
Yep, that's his job. He, just grab anybody in the area. There's Howie. Nice play. Excellent tackle.
93 yards, 11 carries for Bardell. That number helped by the long run. The 54-yard burst moments ago here in the 3rd quarter, but the Browns could not take advantage. Bad snap did them in. We're winding down in the 3rd. Kosar chased by Long. Bardell, first down, and some more as he continues to break tackles. He is very tough to bring down. Aaron Wallace and Derek Hoskins finally did it. Bardell goes for 21 and a first down.
Was that Terry McDaniel that came up to make that devastating lick on Bardell? Well, you want to see what it feels like to be run over? Watch this. Bardell slips to the outside, gets past here, and watch here. Hello, goodbye. That was Terry McDaniel. It just ran over him. Here he comes again. Little slip pass out here to Bardell. Here comes Terry. There goes Terry. There goes Bardell for another 8.
Nice block by Mark Carrier and a first down for the Browns. Play action. Kosar looking end zone. And that was intended for Mark Carrier.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's probably the longest time that Bernie Kosar has had to throw a pass this entire day. He had some time to wait for Carrier to come across. Watch. Play action. Here comes Carrier. This pass takes some time, but the ball is thrown way wide. Look at Bernie. He's going to have some time. Play action to Metcalf. Sets back, and waits. Off target. Probably scared him. He had that much time to throw. Wasn't used to it.
That 21-yard pass play hooking up with Bardell represents the longest pass play of the day for the Browns. Metcalf trying to cut back. Eric Metcalf had a sensational game this past Monday night against the 49ers. 12 carries, 71 yards. One of the best outings of his NFL career. That's it for the third. Raiders with a 13-0 lead. We'll be back after these words from your local station. Welcome back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. Total yards first half Cleveland 37. Second half Raiders only 18 and a 13-0 Raider lead. Kosar throwing as this fourth quarter gets underway. It is picked off on a deflection. Terry McDaniel with the interception. Third time this afternoon that Kosar has been intercepted.
The amazing thing about Bernie had no time to throw the ball. Right to the screen. Watch this. There's the guy. He's in his face. The blitz is on, and Kosar has to throw the ball quickly. It's tipped up in the air. The ball is intercepted. Now you wondered, is that a safety? No, the answer is no. He was in the end zone, never got back out. Watch this. This ball is not tipped. This ball was thrown around the defensive back that was coming in. Big discussion.
At first look, it appeared that it was deflected, but you see on the replay, as you say, that's the way he threw it.
It's a great camera shot because the defensive back was coming in. There was no tip of the ball.
Play has been ruled as a touchback.
All right, so no safety. It is called a touchback.
You know what the Browns are saying? That Terry McDaniel's momentum carried him into the end zone, so the ball should be at the 1-yard line. Now, he tried to get the ball back out again, which he's supposed to do. That's what the Browns are upset about. Belichick is on the field. Look at this throw. His ball is just thrown away because Bernie had someone in his face. Now, look, here he is. He's in playing field. Now he gets up and he goes into the end zone. This ball, that should be ruled a safety.
Well, several Browns were indicating that other Browns were looking for the ball to be placed at the 1, but since they've called it in the end zone, they bring it out to the 20.
To the 20, exactly. Belichick is looking, he's saying, hey, wait a minute, he caught the ball. He was on the ground outside at the 1-yard line. There's no reason this ball should be at the 20-yard line. You're absolutely right. Bring back the instant replay.
Yes. So, as you see, the Raiders have had their troubles in the second half. They take over at the 20-yard line. Jeff Hostetler remaining at quarterback, despite the knee and ankle problems. Greg Robinson for a short pickup.
One thing to remember about the Cleveland Browns, I know this is only the third game into the season, but in the first 2 games of this year, the Browns have not given up a point. Not 1 point in the second half. And Hostetler's still in there handing the ball off. How do you like that? Bad, huh? Did you read that, Mark?
Yes, Raiders with only 3 points in the second half. They opened up with victories over Minnesota and Seattle last Sunday night. They won in Seattle 17-13, but they have not done it in the second half. Second down and 8.
Delay a game again. That's a third
On the
one.
offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
You know, with all the speed the Raiders have on the outside, and they have a lot of speed. They got Alexander Wright, the fastest man in the NFL, Willie Galt,
But
Tim Brown.
They don't go to the speed.
No, they
though,
don't.
Which
They
is
really
what
don't. And
Bill
that's-
Belichick was pointing out yesterday. Or a guy like James Jett, who played briefly, but he's not a guy that's going to be in the game plan, at least at this point. Raiders also claim they have not changed their philosophy. They still are, as they say, a vertical team, but that has not been the case, although they want to show a threat of it. This is Robinson out of the backfield and short of a first down. Hostetler opened up the game last week in Seattle by throwing the bomb. It was incomplete, but they looked to send the message that they are capable. But for the most part, he is a short and medium range effective passer. He can throw deep, but that's not his game.
It's not his game, and what Belichick told us, which I think it is true when you watch this game, he says they do not use that speed on the outside. They're better off. I mean, they throw the ball more in the short routes than they do the deep routes.
It's a third down and 5. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Hostetler taking a long look, and then a timing pattern attempt for Alexander Wright misfired.
I'll tell you, and the Browns are sending on third down and long, and 3rd and 5 is long. Stephon Moore, 27, is in there blitzing. Here's Hostetler going back to the outside. There's holding up in the line, and that's Stephon Moore to hit him in the head. 4th down, punting situation. But the Browns can't put any points on the board.
And Jeff Gossett is back to punt to Eric Metcalf. 4th possession of the second half of the Raiders. 3 and out in all 4. Fair catch handled by Metcalf at the 33. It's a 43-yard punt. And it looks like Vinny Testaverde will come on for Bernie Kosar. Back in Los Angeles, head coach Bill Belichick of the Browns has lifted Bernie Kosar, who was ineffective, intercepted 3 times, and Vinny Testaverde will make his Cleveland Browns debut. He was Bernie Kosar's backup in Miami after 6 years with Tampa Bay. He signed with the Browns, and he's looking to throw on first down and goes incomplete to Leroy Hoard.
Anthony Smith was in his face. Anthony Smith did not take the fake. This was a bootleg. And when you run a bootleg, you have no one out there to block for you. Ford goes out into the flat. Testaverde threw it just a little bit wide. But the reason he did is because Anthony Smith was there.
Vinny Testaverde, as you look back at his days with the Buccaneers, 6 unfulfilled seasons. Now, Tampa Bay has not exactly had the material, but Vinny had a disappointing 6-year run in Tampa Bay, although he is a superb pure passer. The talent is there. In his 7th NFL season out of Miami, and he completes for the first time right at the marker to the tight end Brian Kinchin, who was hit by Terry McDaniel.
They're going to the tight ends. He is going to the tight end, Vinny Testaverde. Watch this, but the most important thing is he has time to throw the football. When you have time to throw the football, you can find open receivers.
Brian Kinchin, an unlikely starter, came to the Browns primarily as a special teams player and a deft long snapper, but he is now the starting tight end. 12 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Browns are down 13-0. Vardell is taken down as he crossed the 45. Chester McLaughlin on the tackle.
You know what makes the Raiders, such a good defensive team, always has been, because if you go back to the guy in the booth next to us doing radio, Michael Haynes and Hayes, 2 corners that can play man-to-man. Here with the Raiders, they have 2 corners that can play man-to-man, McDaniel and Washington. When you do that, you free up safeties. You free up linebackers, Marv, and it's easy to cover for the defensive backs when you have 2 guys that can play one-on-one coverage.
Corners McDaniel and Washington, the safety men Hoskins and Anderson. It's a 2nd down and 7. Testaverde got a good look, but it was dropped. Pass dropped by Hoard. And a 3rd and 7 coming up.
When it goes bad, it goes real bad. First of all, Testaverde doesn't have much time to look downfield. Watch. He's going to step up. Now he's got to avoid the rush. He moves out. And then when he throws the ball to Hoard, it hits him in the hands. He just drops the ball. I mean, if he catches that ball, he has a first down because he had Joe Kelly, the linebacker, but he already had him beaten.
Lawyer Tillman has checked in. The numbers on posts are 8 of 17, 71 yards, 3 interceptions. Third down play, 3rd and 7. Deep drop by Testaverde, unleashes and completes for a first down. Lawyer Tillman is ruled down. Beautiful play.
Oh, what a catch by Lawyer Tillman. This ball was way out in front, and Tillman just went after the ball. Testaverde threw it away from the defensive back and enabled Tillman to catch the ball. Watch this ball, and I mean, it's on a rope. Here it comes down the middle. Watch Tillman just dives for the ball. Hoskins is the safety, can't stay with him. And if you look at it now, twice now, that Testaverde has gone to tight ends.
A 17-yard pass play and a first down for the Browns, who are very much alive. Screenplay was deflected by Anthony Smith. Testaverde tried to set the screen, but Smith got a hand of it.
You know, and it works so well because watch Smith 94. He gets a hand on it. But the guy that's also out in the screen that you're going to see if we can take a look downfield. Here's the block here. But Howie Long is the guy that moves out into the screen. He's on a rush. Then Howie Long, you see him take, there's number 75. He's out there looking at Horde. Excellent team defense.
7th play of the drive. It's a second down and 10. That's Horde in motion. Play action. Nice catch, a diving catch made by Mark Carrier for a first down. Derek Hoskins on the coverage. Well, he and Mark Carrier are certainly familiar with one another. Mark Carrier, Tampa Bay's all-time leading receiver. He signed with the Browns as a free agent this season.
Well, there you just saw it. If you want to see what happened as Terry McDaniel fell down. But Carrier was right there on the play. I mean, he made the right move for the first down, came back on about a 12-yard comeback route, but McDaniel did fall down, but Carrier held on to the football.
And Vinny Testaverde has moved the Browns, looking now at a first down at the 20. Here's again the fake. Testaverde goes sideline and throws it away. Another nicely executed play-action fake by Vinny Testaverde, although the pass was thrown away.
And Marv, the one guy that has not even been visible in this ball game is Metcalf. I mean, other than a couple of short runs, he is now back in the ball game. We knew that. I mean, if we're claimed to be effective offensively, Metcalf has to be the guy. He has to make some things happen. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Testaverde go to him here.
Raiders went right after Metcalf at the start. It was Eric Metcalf who scored 4 touchdowns against the Raiders here in L.A. last season. Penalty marker is down as Howie Long is quick to get at the quarterback. Eric Metcalf has run 5 times from minus 12 yards. 1 catch, 4 yards. That has been it. And the penalty called against the Raiders.
You want to know how much respect the Raiders have for Metcalf? He goes into motion.
75 on the defense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Howie Long.
Second down.
But when Metcalf goes in motion, 2 people go with him. I mean, not 1, but 2. Metcalf comes down the line of scrimmage in motion, and there are 2 people following him. Here's the last play. See Metcalf? Watch this. Now, hold it for a second, guys. Look at these 2 guys. There's 2 guys following him down the line of scrimmage. Is this cute? Hello. Terry, you're not going out. I'll tell you that.
All right, here's the 9th play of the drive from the 15-yard line. Inside handoff. Horde trying to get to the outside, and he is thrown down by Anthony Smith. He flung Leroy Horde.
Anthony, you are the complete player. I mean, this is what you call throwing a person away. He just throws Leroy Horde away. Jones is trying to block. He gets rid of Jones, and then he just throws Horde downfield. That isn't funny, and Horde weighs 230 pounds, folks.
A 3rd down and 10. 10th play of the drive. Testaverde from the shotgun. Runs out of the pocket and is short of a first down. Covered up by McLaughlin.
They're going to try to put 3 points on the board. There's 8:55 and counting in this ball game. 3 points aren't going to be enough. But you've got to put something on the board, and I agree with this totally. So now to put you within 10. The guy to put the heat on Testaverde, that was Howie Long.
Well, this would be a 4th down and 4. Instead, Bill Belichick choosing to go for the 32-yard field goal. Matt Stover 5 for 5 this season. 3 of 3 Monday night against the 49ers.
That's good.
Yes, make it 6 out of 6 for Stover. And the Browns do put some points on the scoreboard. 8:23 remaining in the 4th quarter here in Los Angeles. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire as you look at Matt Stover, who just hit from 32 yards away. So the Raiders now lead the Browns 13-3. The kickoff by Stover. It is a short kick, and it's picked up by Greg Robinson. Pepper Johnson involved in the tackle.
Well, these are the second half possessions out. Hostetler is 1 of 4 for 8 yards. You see all those threes? See all those punts? They're just basically handing the ball off, running some time off the clock. You can do that with Evans.
Jeff Hostetler taking a pounding right through the first half, even though he had an effective first half, was forced to the sidelines on a couple of occasions. Has a knee and ankle problem. But Archell going back to Hostetler. And he completes to the fullback, Steve Smith. Penalty flag is also down. Pepper Johnson made the stop. Crowd announced just under 50,000 here at the Coliseum. And the call against the Browns.
It's an illegal check, illegal hit downfield. It'll be a first down, automatic.
Illegal use of hands on the defense, number 39, hands to the face, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Randy Hilliard.
Yes, Randy Hilliard, who has not seen much action this season, was called for that penalty.
Willie Gault, hands to the face. There it is. You're not allowed to put your hands in the guy's head. And, you know, it'll eliminate that call. I like that play. You cannot put your hands in his face.
Raiders from their 32, second back coming through, Robinson, and he is gang tackled. Again, Pepper Johnson in on the stop of Greg Robinson.
Now here's the total. Look at these first down grab. 8 first downs for the Raiders in the first quarter. Total of 11. They have none in the second half.
Bernie Kosar intercepted 3 times, and he was lifted. Vinny Testaverde came on and did a nice job in his Cleveland Browns debut. Browns did have to settle for the field goal. Hostetler going up top and broken up. Oh, terrific defensive play as Hilliard got a piece of it. The pass intended for Gault.
This pass was perfectly thrown. Hilliard makes a great play. When you see what Hilliard does here, he's watching Gault. But at the last second, watch what he does. Now he'll turn it. The ball, as soon as he sees it, he sticks his hand out. That ball was a perfect pass. Hilliard makes an excellent play because Gault was open.
Randy Hilliard, in his 4th year out of Northwestern State, has been a big play guy, but you get the feeling that Bill Belichick, this out of the Bill Parcells philosophy, does not like the smaller defensive backs. Hilliard about 5'10", 5'11", and he's gone bigger in the secondary. Penalty flags are down.
Perry. Look at Perry. Yeah, it's my fault. Well, they're doing something. What's he saying? My fault.
Start. Number 71 on the offense.
No, he's right. They did something. He finally called it on the offense instead on him. Perry. Gerald Perry was the guy that moved. And Michael Dean Perry, watch this. See the move? He pointed. Well, we don't see. Yeah, Perry. He said, yeah, I saw him. I saw him move. Saw him move. Anthony and I both saw him move. Anthony Pleasant.
It is a third down and 14. Hostetler with the time. Completes to Greg Robinson, but he's met out at the 30-yard line. Mike Caldwell made the tackle. Caldwell, a third-round pick out of Middle Tennessee State. And so Jeff Gossett will come on once again, a quickie series for the Raiders.
I said the Raiders didn't have a penalty or a first down in the second half. They did on a penalty. On a first down play, they got that one first down, but it was only by penalty, not by moving the ball. Plenty of time in this ball game. We're coming up on 6 minutes.
Metcalf waiting the punt. And lets it fly to the far side. So the Browns back to the offense. Vinny Testaverde now at quarterback. Will be back in a moment.
Takeaway. The Browns going into this game leading the National Football League in the first 2 weeks +7. That's taking the ball away. Today -3.
Raiders 13 and the Browns 3. 6:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cleveland first down from their 31. Vinny Testaverde coming on for Bernie Kosar and goes sideline, incomplete. And that intended from Michael Jackson. A rare pass attempt for Jackson. Right here, let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
Well, Marv, we've been watching this with near-numbing regularity in the NFL this year, but every little field goal tells its own story. That one, the 28th in a row over a 2-season span for John Carney, has given the San Diego Chargers a 15-14 fourth quarter lead over the Houston Oilers. Will he ever miss? Marv?
All right, Jim. Michael Jackson, the intended receiver just a moment ago. It's a second down and 10. This time it goes the other way, and it is picked off. The interception by James Trapp. James Trapp, a rookie from Clemson, third-round draft pick. He was an alternate on the 1992 U.S. Olympic sprint team, part of the Raider track team, although James Trapp does it at the defensive end, returns it 10 yards, so Kosar intercepted 3 times, and now Testaverde is picked off right here.
Well, with Testaverde, you talk about forcing the ball. He's trying to throw the ball to Lawyer Tillman, and it isn't going to work. The defensive secondary, he threw this ball, Testaverde, into a crowd. I mean, there were 4 defenders back there.
So the Raiders first down inside the Cleveland 40-yard line. And Hostetler with the handoff to the fullback, Steve Smith, stopped by Clay Matthews. Steve Smith, the guy who resisted several free agent offers to return to the Raiders. One of the hot names in unconditional free agency during the offseason. A look at the interception by Trapp.
Well, we're going to have to, I want to show it to you again after this play, because I'm going to show you where Testaverde throws it into a crowd.
Double tight ends, Ethan Horton, Andrew Glover. And Hostetler throws, it is dropped by Glover.
I don't want to belabor this point about Testaverde, but I got to show you something as we go through this thing. Now go ahead with it, David. Let it run, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. He's going to try to throw the ball to Lawyer Tillman. Right here, here's where I want you to stop. Here comes Tillman right here. But when I show you this, look at where this guy is. Watch this guy come into picture in here, and there's just no way to get the ball in there. Here comes the ball. Trapp is in front. He picks it off. You just don't throw the ball where you're covered by 3 people.
It'll be a third down and 7 at the 35 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Hostetler did well to get her away, facing the rush intended for the tight end Horton.
Eric Turner, number 29, drilled Hostetler, and he's down again. I'm sorry, I don't understand this, why this guy's in the football game. Standing there and throw short passes. Just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, he is getting drilled. I know he have another week off. Jeff, I mean, it'd be nice if he had the rest of his day off. He's going to get just hammered right here, and that is Eric Turner, 29. Not worth it.
Well, also may tell us of a lack of confidence in the backup Vince Evans. The emergency quarterback is a rookie from the University of Washington, Billy Joe Hobart. This is a 53-yard attempt by Jeff Jager. And here it is. It is good. So Jager has hit from 24, from 27, and now from 53. Well, the kickoff from Jager was muffed by Eric Metcalf, but he was able to cover up. So Jager, who a moment ago kicked a 53-yard field goal, one shy of his career high, going short, and Metcalf muffed and then recovered.
See what Metcalf did on that play when the ball came down? He looked upfield. He didn't look at the ball. Lack of concentration on the ball. You got to look at it. The only way you can catch it is by looking at it.
The Browns start out from the 10-yard line, out trailing 16-3. Vinny Testaverde intercepted in that last series by James Trapp, leading to the field goal. Testaverde able to step up and completes. Sideline pass handled by Carrier, so the second time they have hooked up. The coverage provided by Terry McDaniel. That's good for 17.
Yeah, but look where McDaniel is, though. See him backing off. You're not going to get the long ball. If you're going to do this, you're going to go the short way. You're going to do it. It's going to take you time because we still have a 13-point lead. That's what the Raiders are thinking. You're not going to beat us deep for the bomb.
Browns first down from the 26-yard line. Jackson is to the right and Carrier left. And that was intended for Jackson, who cut across the middle. And it is now Michael Jackson as opposed to Michael Dyson. Paul, I know at one time earlier this season you were considering changing your name from Paul McGuire to Al McGuire.
Yeah, one time it was, but I just think it fit, and I'd have to change the M.A. to M.C. But even if Michael would have been Manute Bol, he wouldn't have been able to catch that ball.
And yes, as you can see, Michael Jackson 5 receptions this season. Michael Dyson with 3, but today, whether your name is Jackson or Dyson, a 0. 4:39 remaining in this fourth quarter. Testaverde on second down. Again, the short range pop as Leroy Horde coming out of the backfield. And it is a Browns first down.
Carrier helped him get the first down, number 83. He comes back to make a block that enables Horde to just pick up the extra 2 or 3 yards after he catches the ball. Again, Testaverde, Howie Long in his face. He's running for his life. You see Howie Long, 75? Look at Testaverde. Just pops the ball out to Horde on the right of the screen. There's that little block that enables Horde to pick up the first down by Carrier. Carrier coming back. He sees McDaniel, hooks him with his arm. First down.
Metcalf in motion. Testaverde could not find anyone. Try to shake it off, but could not. Aaron Wallace will get credit. 3 yards on the catch.
Credit the defensive secondary, but credit Aaron Wallace with the sack, but the secondary held up very well. Testaverde again running out of the pocket. See number 51? That's Wallace there. Now watch where he ends up and who makes the tackle. When you don't quit, good things happen for you. Wallace gets over and gets a sack.
4th sack of the day for the Raiders. Pass through the hands.
The Raiders will give you those passes all day long. Metcalf is just going to go out. That's about a 4-yard pattern. He runs underneath. There's the ball thrown. Again, to me, that's lack of concentration. That ball hits you in the hands. You're supposed to catch it.
been a long day for Browns head coach Bill Belichick and the ball club. And once again, I would think that questions will be raised, although there's no doubt about the skills of this man as a defensive geared football guy. Metcalf. And Metcalf runs for the first down. But there are questions as to why he will not hire an offensive coordinator.
He just wants to run the offense. He was a defensive coordinator. And he has a defensive coordinator, Coach Saban, and Belichick, that runs the offense. But this is a great passer. They just get Metcalf right off the line of scrimmage, and he does the rest of this basically on his own.
Good for 23 yards and a first down. Testaverde fading, and then couldn't find anyone.
There hasn't been a screen today that's worked at all for Cleveland. The Raiders have read every single screen. And watch how many linemen are out there in the screen. Testaverde just throws it away. Here comes Howie Long. Watch him. He peels off. He knows it's screen. Testaverde just throws the ball away. There's nobody there, Vinny.
It is a second down and 10. Testaverde 6 of 14, 97 yards, intercepted once. Testaverde able to complete for a first down, and that's the first catch from Michael Jackson, covered by Mike Jones.
The one thing about the rules in football now, inside the 5 minutes, every time you go out of bounds, the clock stops now and stays stops. Here's Jackson, a little hookup, and then breaks it for about another 6 yards. Does a smart thing. He's going down. He gets out of bounds because he knows the clock stops inside the 5 minutes, and it stays stopped. During the rest of the game, if you go out of bounds, once the ball is set, the clock starts again.
So a first down at the 23, time permitting, at the end of this game. We will take you to the Houston-San Diego game. Oilers in front of the Chargers 17-15 late in the fourth quarter. That is time permitting. And Testaverde
delay a game.
Yeah, just throws it down. And
the whistle had blown, Marv. It's delay a game.
On the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
See, even though the clock stops, you still only have 40 seconds to get the play off.
So they mark it off. We're down to 3:22 remaining in this fourth quarter here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The new look Coliseum, the field lower, the Olympic track removed, seats brought closer to the action as a result. The acoustics better, and for the first time we're hearing crowd reaction for the Raiders at the Coliseum. They have been into it. First down and 15. Metcalf able to turn the corner, gets inside the 20.
And this is a very safe play. You're talking about, you say now 13 points. They got 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Why run a sweep? Because the sweep was there. And what they did with this call, what Metcalf did was so smart. On the sweep, when they run it, watch. The first thing he's thinking about, get as much yardage as I can, follow my lineman, which he's doing here. There's Jones out front, but then get out of bounds. He stayed right close to the sidelines. They picked up about 12 yards, 11 or 12 yards on the play, and they stopped the clock.
Second down and 5.
Officials coming in.
Timeout, Los Angeles.
So the Raiders take the timeout, and we'll take a break with 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the fourth. A look at the NBC NFL schedule next Sunday. Miami, Buffalo, which will be seen in most of the country. A matchup of Dan Marino and Jim Kelly. Cleveland playing Indianapolis. And Seattle and Cincinnati. Rick Myra on display with the Seattle Seahawks. Will we eventually see Jeff George getting the call?
No.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
To the point. Second down. And about 5. And Testaverde able to scramble out of trouble. First down and more. And he slides close to the 5-yard line.
When that thing opened up, he was gone, and Mr. Anthony Smith is limping. He's going back. He's all right. He just looked like he twisted his ankle a little because he's back in on the line of scrimmage. They're in a hurry-up offense. When that thing opened up, there was nothing but green for Testaverde.
As the official spotted it at the 8, they say that's where he went down, and now he goes down again. The ball was stripped, but the play was blown dead. Andre Bruce getting to the quarterback, Vinny Testaverde. The Raiders with their 5th sack. How about Andre Bruce in his 6th year out of Auburn? He was the #1 pick overall 6 years ago. Most of the NFL gave up on Bruce when he was in Atlanta. Al Davis obviously believing in him.
And that looked like a fumble. I'll tell you, Andre Bruce stripped the ball. They get the maximum out of players out here, you know that? Raiders.
All right, 2nd down. Testaverde throwing. Touchdown! Lawyer Tillman on a post pattern to beat the rookie James Trapp. It is a 12-yard touchdown pass play, and the Browns, with 2:26 to go in the 4th, are very much alive.
This is a perfect pass and a great catch because Trapp is there. The coverage is outstanding. But watch where the ball is put. Up over his head, Tillman goes up and takes the ball. That is a super catch because he had hands in his eyes. Testaverde, take a look at him here. He steps up. He knows it's touchdown. Put that ball exactly where he wanted to put it.
Now Matt Stover attempting the extra point. 12 plays, 90 yards in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And suddenly this is a contest. Raiders 16, Browns 10. Paul, how would you play it here? Do you go onside or you kick away?
Kick away. I'll tell you why. You're kicking off at the 35-yard line. Even though your defense is playing strong and the Raiders are not moving the ball at all. The thing, what happens in 35, you get it past the 45, 47-yard line. If they get the ball, they're now in your territory. If you kick off, the Browns have 2 timeouts left. Then the 2-minute warning. So they actually have 3 timeouts remaining. Kick the ball deep. Your defense is stopping them right now. The Raiders are going to try to take time off the clock. You may get the ball back at midfield or the 40, but make them use up the time.
Raiders send Alexander Wright back. He is the only deep man. He has tremendous speed. Let's see how Matt Stover plays it. Lawyer Tillman with his first touchdown of the season, cutting it to a 6-point lead, and Stover does kick away, but a flag is down. Here comes Wright, and he goes down out of the 13-yard line.
They're going to have to kick it again because Cleveland was offside on the kickoff. And the other thing about it which makes him kick it again, remember what I said was 2:23? There's 2:18. It's going to take more time off the clock, force him to kick again. Here you kick again. How can you be offside? And it was the end guy on the right-hand side of the kickoff team was offside. Yeah, Art, take it back. Yeah, they're going to kick again. Here, this is the guy, I believe, that's offside. It's on this end. Watch this. How can you be this far offside? Watch how far offside they are. Look at this. Here he is. Here's the kicker. Isn't that cute? Oh. I mean, we've seen a lot of examples of lack of concentration today.
Well, that's something we discussed with both coaches yesterday, and Art Shell a bit more upset about it because the Raiders over their first 2 games, despite the fact they played well and won both, have continued to commit penalties. 18 over the first 2 games. So 2:18 remaining in the 4th quarter. This is a 13-0 game at halftime. Raiders seem to have it under control, although Jeff Hostetler has been battered, and that certainly affected his game and the philosophy of the Raiders, who went to the ground more frequently than they might have if Hostetler would not hit, bothered by a knee and ankle injury. And the Raiders have not been able to get anything going at all in the second half. They do have that one field goal, a 53-yarder by Jeff Jager.
And remember, the Browns have not given up a point in the second half this year, and this is the 3rd game. And Stover is a guy that can get the ball in the end zone. I don't know, and he has the wind at his back. He's got to lay into this ball. Get Alexander Wright to go back to the end zone. He's standing on the 15.
Well, Wright drifts back and muffs picks it up and now looks to outrun the coverage, but cannot. He is smothered back at the 5.
Another example of lack of concentration. I mean, you know, this game is not put away. It's 16-10. There's over 2 minutes to play in this ball game, and you're standing back there all by yourself. You have all day. Watch this. Boom, the ball goes away. Now you drop the ball. Pick up the football. Now you get nailed back about the 6-yard line. This is what Cleveland wants. Now they will take it. I would think that they will take a timeout right after this play if they can get the timeout in before the 2 minutes, because the 2 minute will give them the timeout again on 2nd down, and then 3rd they take their final timeout.
Raiders start at their 6. They go double tight end with Horton and Glover. And the handoff to Steve Smith, who is stopped behind the line. Michael Dean Perry made the tackle.
Well, here's what we got. This is a smart call. Now they go to the 2 minutes. They don't care what the Raiders run. Here's where a situation where the Raiders should throw the football. Running the ball means nothing. It's only going to go to the 2 minute warning and stop anyway. But you got a chance now to throw the football. They're all sitting in there waiting for you to run the ball. And make sure when you throw that ball that that guy is wide open, or throw the ball away.
So both teams are down to 1 timeout remaining. Browns taking the timeout, and we'll get another stoppage at the 2 minute warning. It'll be a 2nd down. Back inside the 5, 2nd and about 11.
Michael Dean Perry's been in their backfield than the Raider running back. I mean, watch this. He almost gets the handoff. Here's Perry. Hello. Bing. Is that quick? That's quick.
Raiders line up with Robinson and Smith, the running backs. Double tight end once again. Horton and Glover in there.
One-on-one coverage down here on the bottom. Throw it.
And Hostetler does to Smith, who's able to bring out across the 10. Hit by Mike Johnson and Stevan Moore, and there is the 2 minute warning. Minute 55 remaining in the 4th quarter. 3rd down, 6 for the Raiders. Paul, if they're stopped right here, could you see the Raiders taking a safety, avoiding the big rush and the block punt?
Marv Albert into coaching. What a great point. We'll get into that. I know why you're doing that. That's perfect. Yes.
Let's see what happens right here as Hostetler throws over the top for the tight end, Andrew Glover, but he could not hold on. It was broken up by Pepper Johnson.
Well, actually, Glover just dropped the ball, hit him in the hands. Pepper Johnson happens to be there. This pass is perfect. Hostetler just loops this ball over. Look at this. Right there, it hits him in the hands. He just drops the ball. Now, let's get back to what you're talking about. Do you take the safety? Very good possibility. You're up by 6. The Browns have to score a touchdown to beat you and an extra point. If you take the safety, you're still up by 4. The Browns still have to score a touchdown. If you do that, now you take the ball to the 20 and you can punt away with your kicking team and have all the time in the world. But I think they're going to take the safety, Mark.
Yes.
What a brilliant man you are.
So they do take the safety, and that means they will then get a free kick. So they avoid that big rush and the possibility of the blocked punt in the end zone, and it is now a 16-12 Raider lead.
And everybody in the stands going, what was that? That was a safety. And what, you know, it's smart football. It really is. The Browns needed a touchdown. They still need a touchdown. They have no time. They have 1 timeout left. That's the good part about it. That when on a pass play on 3rd down, incomplete, stopped the clock, so the Browns didn't have to use a timeout. You know they're not going to kick a field goal. That doesn't do any good. They have to score a touchdown.
Minute 41 remaining in this 4th quarter. The free kick is coming up, and the Cleveland Browns, who were not able to get anything going at all in the first half, stopped the Raiders in the second half, and they have made their way back into this game.
You know, one of the problems that the Browns really have in this last minute and some odd seconds, Marv, is if you take a look at the shadows on the field, when their pass receivers are downfield and they're looking back, they're looking directly back into the sun, and that could be an effect on the offense. When you can see the shadows, the Raiders will be, when they turn around, or the Browns, when they turn around and look, they're looking directly into the sun, folks. And there is the sun. And if we were here like on a night game, we could show you the moon.
Of course, the NBC equipment has been ruined, allowing us to give you that shot. But here's the free kick. Metcalf to the 25, 30. Look out! Metcalf to midfield. Metcalf is pushed out of bounds by the punter, Jeff Gossett, and the Browns have a terrific opportunity now with 1:33 remaining in the fourth. Metcalf finally exploding.
When you take a look at Metcalf, right at the beginning, he's the guy that sets this whole thing up. He makes a false step to his right, and when he does that, he holds the kicking team coming down the field. Then he breaks to his left. Watch what he does. Watch him go to his right. He's going to hold the right hand, the left hand side of the defense. See that move there? Now back to this side, and now he gets the ball at the 45 of the Raiders.
37-yard return. Crowd urging the defense on. 1:33 to go. And the fourth. Vinny Testaverde at quarterback coming on for Bernie Kosar. Big hole for Tommy Vardell.
Why the draw? Got all day. You got 1:24 and counting. You still have a timeout to take it anytime you want.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching Houston at San Diego. The Chargers beating the Oilers 18-17. Nice to have those of you with us. Pass play is broken up. Lionel Washington on the coverage of Michael Jackson. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. The Raiders with a 13-0 lead going to the second half. Jeff Hostetler took a pounding. He has not been himself in the second half after he hurt his knee and an ankle. The Browns able to turn it around, get back into it. Vinny Testaverde relieved Bernie Kosar, who was intercepted 3 times. It is a 16-12 Raider lead, and the Browns are threatening. The draw for Vardell, and he is stopped inside the 35.
They had to run this play to pick up the first down. It is a smart call. 56 seconds. The officials call timeout. They're looking at a measurement because on the one side of the field, it says you have to get the ball to the 35-yard line. Is the ball at the 35? It's got to be a first down because the ball was at the 45. This is smart by Cleveland. What they're doing is they're calling for a measurement, which is almost a yard. Now they can stop the clock. They should be at the line of scrimmage instead of being back in the huddle. Get up on the line. They'll roll the clock. It's running. They're wasting about 5 or 6 seconds.
Now just under 50 seconds. Remaining in the fourth quarter. First down, Cleveland. Inside the 35. Testaverde with the time, and he caught it. It is completed inside the 20. Mark Carrier with a terrific reception between Derek Hoskins and Tarek McDaniel. First down inside the 20, and now Testaverde stops the clock with 26 seconds remaining. It's a 4-point lead, so the Browns must go for the touchdown following the safety taken by the Raiders and the free kick, which as it turned out backfired.
And this here catch, look at this, stumbling, going down. Carrier gets the ball, covered by 2 guys. He makes the catch. I mean, this is football. This is exciting now.
Second down and 10 at the 18. Art Modell feeling a bit better about things. He was not in good spirits earlier, but the Browns have come back. Testaverde again with the time, throwing, and the catch is made for a first and goal.
Now you take your timeout. You have a timeout. You're running down to 15 seconds. They're right at the 1-yard line. They're calling timeout.
Once again, Mark Carrier So Carrier, who hooked up in Tampa Bay with Vinny Testaverde, comes up with his 5th catch of the day, 4 from Testaverde since he came on for Kosar.
All right, Carrier's on the far left, but again, you know, let's not lose sight of the fact. Here's Carrier open, but all the time that Testaverde has to throw the ball. Carrier almost gets up and makes a touchdown. But look at the time Testaverde has. He's waiting. Now he has Carrier open. Comes across the middle. No defense can cover that long. Testaverde finds Carrier there. They're at the 1-yard line. Now they really have a problem. The problem is they have no timeouts. There's 11 seconds. Can you afford to run the ball? No. You have to throw the ball to the end zone.
11 seconds to go. If you throw the ball, you're able to stop the clock. If you run the ball and you are stopped, it may be difficult to get off another play. Testaverde 10 of 20, 161 yards. The Browns going for the victory, trailing 16-12.
Somebody better cover Bardell if he comes out of the backfield, number 44.
Testaverde will throw for the end zone. It is ruled incomplete. He was out of the end zone. The catch by Michael Jackson, but he was out of the end zone.
It took 5 seconds. There were 11 seconds on the clock. Here's the play. Washington is out on top of Michael. The catch, and he's out of bounds. Now the question is, could he have come down in bounds? The official says no. Washington hits him. Here it is. 1 foot is down. The other foot is knocked back out of bounds.
6 seconds remaining. Now Metcalf makes the turn. Touchdown!
What a play. What a call. What a play. There's still 2 seconds. They're going to throw a flag here for celebration, I would imagine. But what a play.
The Cleveland Browns have come from way back and now lead the Raiders 18-16. And Bill Belichick is trying to get his club off the field so they can kick the extra point.
What a call. Now we're going to see this play here. Watch Metcalf. He knows he has touchdown. There's Jones outside blocking for him. Tony Jones, 66. But when we see this thing from the end zone, the wide deal, I mean, there is no one out there. That toss is made. He could have walked home.
And now the extra point attempt by Stover.
I'm telling you, this is an outstanding call. And you were the one that was questioning Belichick as far as the offensive coordinator. Okay.
No, wait a second. I just raised the question that has been raised elsewhere.
Watch this, Barb. I mean, he started raising the ball at the 3-yard line. And then Belichick just goes absolutely ballistic. Here it is. Go ahead, guys. He goes crazy. I wonder what Art Modell did. Mark? Hey, Art. That's a great game.
And there are 2 seconds remaining. As it turns out, the safety leading to the free kick backfired on the Raiders.
You're absolutely right. Because of the kick, because of the return of Metcalf, and then Metcalf gets the touchdown. But we didn't hear from Metcalf the entire ball game. And then on the return, the kick return, Metcalf makes a great move, gets the ball to the 45-yard line, and then down with Testaverde. And do you know who starts at quarterback for Cleveland next week? Bernie Kosar.
Well, next Sunday the Browns will be at Indianapolis, and then they have a bye week. Raiders will be off next week. Sunday, October 3rd, they resume in Kansas City.
Bernie is a team player. He's as happy as Testaverde is, I can guarantee you that.
All right, Alexander Wright and Willie Gault, the 2 speedsters, are back, but Stover wisely keeps it on the ground. It's picked up by one of the upmen as time runs out. It was Kevin Smith, a reserve running back, on the return, and Bill Belichick and his Cleveland Browns have come up with a dramatic victory. The Browns go 3-0 for the first time since 1979. The Cleveland Browns come from behind and defeat the Los Angeles Raiders 19-16, with Al Davis obviously not pleased about this one after the good start by the Raiders. Vinny Testaverde coming off the bench to lead the Browns to the victory. And right here, it's time for the Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton's super play of the game.
And who else? Watch this. A walk home. Jones never had to block anybody. The Raiders never expected the Browns to run a play with 6 seconds left on the clock and no timeouts. They figured it had to be passed, and what a brilliant call. A toss, sweep to the left with no one out there. Absolutely nobody there.
Benny Testaverde, 10 for 22, 159 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times. A terrific finish here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, capped off by Eric Metcalf, who came alive in the final minute, and the Browns knock off the Raiders 19-16. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. Hope you enjoy the action. Thanks for tuning in. Again, the final, the Browns 19, the Raiders 16. So long, everybody.